to be at this level and get to the Olympics?
Yeah, I mean, Alex had 0 points, and to have a chance to qualify for the Olympics, you have to get into international tournaments. You have to have a certain number of points, and I knew that was a risk, and we barely got into our very first tournament, but then ended up winning the entire thing, which she's only the third person in history to do that, win her very first international tournament. After that, we were pretty good, but it was a little touch and go at first.
I got to take in a number of events over in Tokyo, but hands down, the highlight was watching you beat Australia and win the gold, and the energy in that place to not have fans. Like, there were a number of folks there who managed to show up for it. Highlight for you in Tokyo, besides winning the gold, was there something that stood out? I heard you may have met someone that you...
Yeah, well, so we saw Kevin Durant like getting ready for opening ceremonies, and I was like, oh, I kind of want a picture, but like I'm too shy to ask, whatever. And we were walking, like getting ready to do the walkthrough, and then April's like, let's just get a selfie, and I was like, okay, let's get a selfie. And so we took a selfie with him. And he like pulled down his mask at the last second and like had a huge smile, and it like made our night.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. And we've already discussed how Mr. T loves you, the A-team. It's incredible. We've got some crowd questions. Chanel's with some of our folks.
Yes, good morning. We'll squeeze in as many as we can. This is Bobbie from Chicago. What's your question?
My question is, my daughter Maddie is in middle school and plays volleyball. I'm wondering, what is something that you were taught or told when you were younger that stuck with you in your journey to the gold?
Great question.
Well, when I was playing growing up, my dad always said the same thing, and it was just do your best, and that's all you can do. And so it sounds really cliche, but I think, 100% effort and go for it with all you have. And at the end of the day, you can be proud of yourself.
Well, and like what April says, get better.
Yeah, I know. And that's it. It's so easy. It's so easy.
Yeah.
I think we have time for one more, Chanel.
He's in Zoe. Hi, Zoe.
Hi.
What's your question?
In the moments when you're down and most exhausted during a match, what gives you the boost to keep going and doing your best?
Ooh.
Good questions.
Well, I mean, we train really hard for those moments, and when we're, in practice and we're feeling tired, we make sure that we push through so that we can do it when we're in the match. I think we help each other, and if one person's struggling, we really try to lift that person up, give them confidence, and it's really a team effort, but those are some of the toughest things to deal with on the court.
My mom was always wondering why you guys hug between the points, and I'm like, I think they're whispering strategy. Are you whispering strategy?
There's a lot of reasons why we hug. We are talking about strategy. When it is really hot like it was in Tokyo, gives us a couple extra seconds to breathe.
Yeah, there's like this whole thing about 12 seconds in between each point, but if you are celebrating, they can't start the clock on that. So it started out as like, let's stall a little bit, catch our breath.
But now we love doing it.
Yeah, it's just part of our routine.
Now you're just hugging.
Yeah.
Last question. Is Alex good enough to join you in Paris? She making the cut? Okay.
Of course.
All right, so we'll see you in Paris.
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go.
We're back with a new documentary on the life and legacy of Princess Diana.
It premiered overnight, filled with interviews from some of her close friends, and NBC's Molly Hunter is at Buckingham Palace for us this morning. Molly, good morning.
Hey guys, good morning. Look, Princess Diana's life, of course, has been under the microscope for decades, but this new PBS docuseries takes a serious look at her relationship with Prince Charles, his affair with Camilla, and that famous dance with John Travolta. Take a look.
Diana was an icon. She revolutionized what was around her.
This morning, a new look at the People's Princess.
Diana became a central figure in the consciousness of the people of the world.
The PBS docuseries, in their own words, premiering overnight, examining Princess Diana's life in the public eye and also behind the palace walls, with those who were close to her weighing in.
She stepped into this role and she knew the enormity of it, but I think she felt in her heart of hearts that there was tragedy alongside it.
The hour-long special zeroing in on her tumultuous marriage to Prince Charles.
I think it's very difficult when you go on your honeymoon with your husband and he opens his diary and out flutters a photograph of his mistress that he's thoughtfully brought with him. So I think she had a rude awakening.
Actor John Travolta also remembering his dance with the princess at the White House in 1985.
It was a storybook moment.
First Lady Nancy Reagan, the key to making it all happen.
Nancy Reagan tapped on my shoulder and said, "The princess, her fantasy is to dance with you. Would you dance with her tonight?" And I said, "Well, of course." And my heart starts to race, and I tap her on the shoulder and she turns around and looks at me and she did that kind of bashful dip that she did. And she looked up at me and I said, would you care to dance with me? And she said, yes.
Diana's life and legacy have already been in the spotlight this summer. Prince William and Prince Harry reuniting last month to unveil a statue of their mother on what would have been her 60th birthday. Prince Harry also making sure her name lives on with his new baby girl, Lilibet Diana, who was born in June. A grandmother she will never know, but whose legacy will be remembered for generations.
Now, speaking of adorable grandchildren, guys, take a look at this picture released by Mom and Dad Will and Kate over the weekend. A very grown-up looking 6-year-old Princess Charlotte. I'll send it back to you.
Oh, well, that's just adorable. Molly, thank you very much.
Let's go. This is a critical choke point for this fire. And good evening from New Orleans. Nice to really spend some time with you. Appreciate
it. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes, this is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. And there you go.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. And there you go.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. And there you go.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Hello, today in 30, we are making the most amazing Ratatouille lasagna you have ever had. Make sure that you go to todayshow.com to get this recipe. It's one you're gonna want.
All right, it is Make Ahead Monday, and today contributor Elizabeth High School is going to show all of us how to use those fresh summer veggies in 2 great recipes. Let's let us tell you about her book, shall we? Her new book, it's called Come On Over, Southern Delicious for Every Day and Every Occasion. So good to have you back.
It's so good
so
to be
much.
back. I mean,
yes.
I'm serious. I'm the happiest person in New York City right now. I've just been thrilled to be here. I've been waiting.
We want to know how to make this.
So this is my favorite thing. I love eggplant. But I think people, number one, a lot of people just say, I don't like eggplant.
Yeah.
Well, they've never had
It's
it cooked
intimidating.
properly.
Right.
Or they just don't know how to cook it.
That's me.
This is the key. You have to salt it before you start, okay?
Otherwise, it's just a watery
what
mess,
happens
right?
is, yes, it has a lot of moisture. It also can be a little bit bitter. If you salt it, though, it's going to draw the moisture out and the bitterness.
You put it in there.
So we're going to chop it up.
Right.
You're going to salt it.
Okay.
And then you're going to let it sit for about 20 minutes.
And you don't have to peel it.
No, you don't have to peel it for this recipe.
Okay.
Then you're going to pull it out of that, and
Okay.
you do have to drain it. Otherwise, this is going to be too salty.
Okay.
You won't be able to use it.
Okay.
Okay, so we have our tomatoes. These are fresh, beautiful tomatoes with their juice. We're going to do a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt, and then that's going to go in the oven. Now, the reason we're doing that is because we want to deepen it. We want it to caramelize. Yes, we want it to caramelize, and that's what's going to happen by roasting it. Okay.
If you by chance don't have time to cut up tomatoes, can you use canned
Absolutely, and add a season.
Okay.
So if you're it's winter, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, now watch
Look at all that garlic.
Yes. So we're going to go garlic, whole cloves. See, you don't even have to chop that up.
Easy peasy.
And then everything's just going to go in.
Oh, that's yummy.
That was a little bit of
beat it.
olive oil already in there.
Yeah.
And then we're going to give it a stir. Now, this is something. For a Monday night, there's no reason in the world that we can't make it special.
Okay.
Did you see how long that took me?
Oh,
and I know you
so
say that
quick.
you're not a good chopper, but you can use big
my God.
pieces. It could be big, huge pieces, as long as they're all the same size. We just want it to
And you
cook
just serve it
evenly.
and eat it just like that.
A little bit of basil on top.
Wait, this is this?
Yes.
This is phenomenal.
I know it is.
I was thinking it was going to be harder. So easy.
And
What's in
so
here?
then we
Vinegar?
add a little bit of vinegar at the end, and that just kind of gives it another level of flavor.
Oh my gosh.
Now, this can be served room temperature, cold. It's perfect for summer entertaining because
sit out for a while.
Put it in there, done. Now, we're going to have some leftovers. I always double that recipe.
Hence Make Ahead Monday.
Yes, and so now this is the thing. This is going to knock your socks off.
Okay, do it.
It is a vegetable lasagna. We're going to use our ratatouille.
Okay.
We do make a bechamel, which is just a cream sauce. Okay. Okay. So we have a little bit of flour. We're adding this to our butter, which is already in here. Now, you have got to whisk this, or it is going to lump all up on you, and you do not want a lumpy cream sauce.
Okay.
But see how nice that is, Dylan?
That's so creamy.
We also have a bay leaf
I
in
was just
here.
about to say you put a bay leaf in there. Okay.
Now, this is my favorite. So, if you're going to use nutmeg, you please get the whole cloves.
Okay.
And use your grater.
Yes,
all right.
ma'am. We
And
don't
now,
need much,
because you don't need much because once it's grated, it really loses a lot of its flavor.
Okay.
And if you don't have one of these, you need a grater. Everybody
just
needs a
got
grater.
one.
I'm telling you,
Not
they
even kidding.
are the best. They are the best. Now, this is not what you use on your feet though if you have calluses. All right. This stays in the kitchen.
Might be a bit much.
Don't be taking this in the bathroom. Okay, good.
This is why we missed you.
Now, we're going to add a little bit of salt to this, and now we're going to add our milk.
Cream or milk?
This is just milk.
Okay.
And then it's going to thicken up because we have that flour and butter mixture. Let that get a little bit thick.
Okay.
Now here's the fun part.
Okay.
Now I've gotten a little spoiled with these. These are the no-bake lasagna noodles.
My language.
Yes, yes.
So you don't bake
they're
those at all?
yummy. No, you don't. You're going to bake them in here, and they work beautifully. You don't have to use them. You could certainly use regular, obviously.
Okay.
Now here's our fabulous ratatouille.
Yum, yum.
Don't y'all love it when I speak fancy French? I practiced that in the mirror all morning. I was like, ratatouille. Ratatouille.
Listen.
Anyway,
I wanna try it.
It works. So
Oh my gosh.
we have our ratatouille, and then we're going to do a layer of cheese.
Oh, stop it.
Then we
Wait,
do
you
our
can take
layer
any one
of
those.
bechamel.
The baby's kicking a lot right now.
He is
excited
starving.
about I don't have baby in there, and I'm
He's
so enjoying it.
starving. And then the beautiful bechamel.
So you just the
Did
way
you
you would
get a
do,
bite?
Are you kidding me?
Get in there.
This is a good time.
Yeah,
So the
this-
way
oh
you
my
would do
goodness.
sauce, so to speak, you do it with the sauce.
Exactly. Now, my husband Luke, he doesn't think he's eating unless he has meat. Do you understand? Like he's
That's
like,
true. A lot
well,
of folks do.
we didn't eat
Yeah.
supper. What about Italian sausage?
That would be
Cooked
delicious.
Italian sausage, or you could even do ground beef, lamb
And then what?
sausage.
Do
Oh
you
my
mix it in
gosh,
with the
lamb
veggies, or-
sausage. Yeah. So then I'm going to cook that on the side. I'm going to sprinkle it
add
on
it
top
in
of
there.
my vegetables, and then we're gonna go and finish it.
But can I tell you something?
What, Angel?
This might be the best veggie lasagna I've ever had.
This is delicious.
This is ridiculous.
And the bechamel sauce just ties it all together.
It does,
It's
doesn't
so
it? So much
creamy
better
and
than
delicious.
Here's the thing,
I
everybody
think.
at home knows I tell the truth, right?
Yes,
Especially about
yes.
food. This is worth going to today.com/food and getting this recipe. Home run for you.
Thank you, honey.
So good.
Thank you, honey. I
Delicious.
appreciate it.
You know it's
so
good
much.
when we like pack it up for lunch a little later.
Roasting the
Roasted
tomatoes
tomatoes.
really do help, doesn't it?
Wow.
So good.
Yes, all right, make sure you get that book. Come on over.
Come on over. So good to see you
Let's
in
say it
person.
one more time.
Come on over.
Yes, come on over.
You know, I
You have
got
to get
kids
this
in
all be
college.
over.
We got to sell some books.
I love your energy, by the way, because a lot of them have been out here since like 5 o'clock this morning. Rose Byrne has been making us laugh for years. We all remember her as Helen in Kristen Wiig's insufferably perfect frenemy in Bridesmaids. And now Rose is starring in the much darker comedy. It's called Physical.
So she plays Sheila, a self-loathing housewife in the 80s who feels like she's hit rock bottom until she discovers aerobics, and it gives her a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel.
Have you heard of the Drain Guru?
I mean, yeah, of course. Everyone's
He's huge, right?
heard of him.
You could be huger. You've got the skills and the looks. You're something that someone would actually like to see in their house every day, not like a clogged toilet. Am I right?
I hope so.
VCRs all over this country with you inside them.
Change the world, remember? Yeah.
And Rose is here with us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. We love having you on the show, and I want to first start off by saying congratulations. Physical just picked up for season 2.
Yay.
How'd you celebrate?
Yeah, I was really excited. I think I just had some champagne.
Of course.
That works.
No, I was thrilled. You know, there's so much content out there, and I'm so proud of the show, and I love the part so much, and it's been amazing having so many friends and colleagues come out and you know, be really candid with me about their own struggles with whether it's food or mental health or whatever. So it's been really, and it's also a really funny show. You know, it's been an incredible experience. So I'm thrilled we get to keep continuing the story.
We were just talking about that. It's fun, but there's some meat to it. You know, there's a dark part about this. But first of all, before we get to that, had you ever tried aerobics before or researching this role? Because it's not easy.
It's not, but it's also addictive. I realized once I started doing the training, the high you get from it and the rush is really, it's incredible. And I trained really hard with Jennifer Hamilton, this incredible choreographer who did all of the sequences. We started training months in advance, and she was a huge cheerleader and motivator for me. Because no, I'm not particularly fit, so.
And you have to be coordinated too.
Yeah, and I'm deeply uncoordinated. So it's a lot of editing going on. I was like, guys, you got to make me look like I know.
Right, like you know what you're doing. I would say the dark part of this show comes in when you hear Sheila's inner thoughts, what she says to herself. And I feel like so many people, when they're on their own, I mean, those thoughts can really be brutal, and you really just kind of tear yourself apart. How did you get into that headspace?
I loved it. I mean, listen, I guess as an artist, it's always the attraction of the dark side. And I also think that comedy comes from the same place. I think the funniest things can be the darkest, and the darkest things can be the funniest. So I found it really kind of enriching and nourishing, despite it being obviously challenging at times, particularly how Sheila sees other people. But it's always just a reflection of her own illness and demons. It's not really ever about the other person, you know? Yeah. And once I, understood that, and it's a deeply personal story for Annie Wiseman, the creator. So I felt very, I wanted to do a good job for her, obviously, and but it's amazing. So many people relate. You know, it touches a nerve.
It does, especially just self-talk. That at its at its worst. So is it true you and your partner Bobbie Cannavale watched the show together? Has he given you any notes?
He's my biggest supporter. He's amazing.
Aww.
You know, he's an incredible actor himself, obviously, and I, have such respect for him as an artist. And we've worked together many times. We were doing a play together right before the pandemic hit. We were one of the few plays that actually got to finish our run. So I consider him my touchstone, and he's, he had read the scripts, and we do. I love watching it. I mean, we try. We have 2 small kids, so it's sometimes a little bit hard.
That, yes.
Yes, you have to wait till they go to bed, and then you can watch TV together if you're still awake.
If you're still awake, exactly.
If you still manage to be awake.
Exactly.
Rose, thank you so much, and good luck with season 2. We can't wait to see where it goes from here.
Thanks, ladies. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
And you can stream the first season of Physical right now on Apple TV+.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement. Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world. Love it! I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
And if a getaway is on your summer bucket list, there's plenty of time to still squeeze one in.
In fact, when we asked our Facebook followers the #1 item on their bucket list, the majority ruled a trip.
We agree. So we're about to take you to some amazing destinations and tell you to keep what you need to keep in mind before booking. Here with all of that is Anthony Melchiori. He's the host of the podcast, No Vacancy. Anthony, we like our hats.
How, you like it? I like my hat.
Okay,
How are
Anthony,
you?
for anybody we're happy you're here, but for anybody that wants to travel, what are some things we need to keep in mind?
Well, the first thing you want to do, everyone wants to travel now, right? No one can travel now, everybody's traveling. So Verifly, you want to go to verifly.com and you want to check to see, do you need to be vaccinated? What are the rules in that destination? So that's really important. Also, give yourself time. People are now taking 2.5 to 3 hours at the airport. I basically got diamond status during the pandemic. That's how much I flew. There was nobody there. Now everybody is flying. So I give myself 3 hours at the airport.
You got yourself time.
3 hours.
Give yourself time. Give yourself time to take time. Let's start with the theme of the day, beach vacation.
Yeah, that's why we're wearing these hats.
Is that why?
I think so,
I didn't know
Michelle.
why.
Oh, is that why we have sand at our feet?
Yes. Let's talk about the beach vacation. Where should we go?
Where would I go? Bald Head Island.
Oh, wow.
Oh, is that it's a real place?
Tell us about it.
Oh, thank you. So Bald Head Island is off the coast of North Carolina. It's got forest, it's got beaches. There's no cars, so no honk of the ugly horn. It is the place to go.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, and let's talk about deals. Where can we find them? Is that
Well, I usually say book direct, but right now, because it's so busy at the beaches, you need to go to the third parties. You need to use your loyalty membership points, because right now, everybody wants to be on the beach. That's why we're on the beach.
Yes, work smart, not hard. So what about camping?
Yeah,
People
everybody's
love...
doing it, right?
No, I mean, I like indoors.
Oh, I guess we take off our hats.
Oh, guess so.
Oh, we got marshmallows?
Camping. Camping. Where should we
It's
go?
already too much.
Wait, I gotta get my camping hat on.
Yes.
Where should we go?
Hold on.
Tell us. What type of destination should we look for?
So,
I know the hats might be a lot.
wandercamp.com is the place you want to look at. And when you're camping, if you're like me who camps every weekend, not really, you want to go to wandercamp.com and they'll take care of everything for you.
Okay, where should we go if we want to camp?
Zion State Park, my favorite place. But also, when you're looking at those parks, you want to look at state parks, not so much the bigger parks, because right now, again, everybody's going to the mountains.
Yeah, and all the national parks, like the Grand Canyon, I think it's never been busier, which is great.
Zion National Park is wonderful, but you really want to go to the state parks because those parks right now are so busy.
Okay, awesome. Coming up next, you call laycations. Laycations are a place. Wow, okay.
We got to get ready for the laycation.
Yes. Where should we go? I love a laycation, frankly.
And we can fish at the laycation.
So why not?
This is like a whole season of Alone. What is this? This is the most camping. My husband would be so proud. It's so rugged.
You're very outdoorsy.
So rugged.
Okay, what lakes do you like?
FamilyVacationCritic.com, you have to go there. It'll tell you where to go. But Winnipesaukee is my favorite lake. It's actually where on Golden Pond was filmed, and a lot of movies.
Where is it? It's in New Hampshire?
New Hampshire.
Okay,
Yeah.
and what can you do there? What type of activities?
Well, what's great about that, there's a lot of little lakes around there.
Okay.
So
Yeah, what's the difference between a large lake and a little lake? Obviously,
Less
the
people.
size.
Less people.
In terms of the hangout section.
How many times have you been to a great destination, and then when you go into this great lake or this vacation, you see a little spot?
Yeah.
That's the place you want to find. So you go to Winnipesaukee, but there's a lot of little lakes around there. You want to find a secret lake.
Awesome. Okay, well,
Ooh.
let's trade in our
And you can go fishing.
our fishing rods for Cosmopolitan, because our next stop is a city trip.
Okay.
Oh.
You're saying now is the time to go.
Okay.
So first
It's
of all,
very
if you're in the
city-like.
city, you have to buy some swag at the Today Show shop, right?
Yeah.
I love New York. Listen, I was born in New York. I was raised in New York. I still get excited about New York.
Yes.
And what's great about New York, when you think about New York, you think about Coney Island, you think about Rockefeller Center, but there's a ferry that will take you to Rockaway Beach and the new Rockaway Hotel. It's unbelievable. Talk about secret destinations.
Oh.
That's the place you want to go. You want to go to Rockaway Beach, you want to go to the Rockaway Hotel, and it feels like you're in South Beach. It feels like you're completely away from everything.
Yeah, you also mentioned Boston and Seattle, Chicago, some
Boston,
great places.
Seattle, I
LA.
love Seattle.
I love that you dropped a little tease on a hotel, and you're the hotel guy. What's the most cost-effective way to book a hotel?
Call direct. Now, if you're going to a very crowded place like the beaches today, you want to look for deals. But if you're coming to the big cities, you're coming to New York, you're going to Seattle, you're going to Chicago, they're kind of empty right now. The big city hotels are empty, so now's the time to get a deal. $100 off, but call them directly. We want to hear from you.
Awesome. That's such good ideas. Thank you so much.
Hope you enjoyed that. We also hope you're back with us tomorrow for another great morning. Jill Martin is going to be here with some must-have steals and deals.
Plus, Mr. Roker and I hit the road. We will show you around one of our favorite places right here in New York. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow on Today.
Hey gang, welcome to Today All Day. The next 30 minutes you'll be hanging with me, and I have some of my favorite original videos just for you, full of inspiration and hope. So take a seat, get a tissue, come along for the ride as we hear words of wisdom from some of my favorite people.
I have to say, I love Olympic Hoda.
Yeah.
Out of the studio, sweatshirt. She's so pumped up. She's getting me pumped up for
I know.
Tokyo. She's also going to help us meet 6 remarkable athletes who just made their Olympic dreams a reality.
She's even wearing the uniform.
I know.
The U.S. women's gymnastics team was selected in St. Louis late last night, and after they revealed who else would they sit with first, our Hoda.
Oh.
Of course.
SG, guys, it was so much fun. If you weren't pumped for the Olympics yesterday, you are today. The energy in the dome behind me was electric. You could literally feel it. It was packed. 21,000 strong in the audience. They were cheering, they were screaming, they were doing the wave, and there was some serious star power on this team, okay? We all know and we all love Simone Biles, okay? She's gonna be joined by 5 other phenomenal athletes who are ready for Tokyo, and you're gonna wanna know these names. Here we go. Are you ready? Simone, Michaela, Jordan, Suni, Jade, and Grace.
Let's hear it for your women's gymnastics team, USA!
It's the moment that changed their lives forever. Meet the 6 stars who will shine bright for Team USA in Tokyo. Raise your hand if you're freaking out. Simone, you too?
Yeah, I mean, it's so real. It's been a long journey.
Simone Biles.
There's one the world already knows very well, Simone Biles.
Spectacular.
The greatest of all time, ready to add more medals to her collection.
Wow.
An alternate for the Rio Games, Michaela Skinner will finally have her time on the Olympic stage.
This is wild.
18-year-old Suni Lee is ready to make her mark too.
She's a rock star.
20-year-old Jordan Childs, named after basketball legend Michael Jordan, now proving that she is a force to be reckoned with.
Nice technique.
2 more new faces who will now be household names, Grace McCullum and Jade Carey.
A ton of difficulty.
All ready to go for gold in Tokyo. But it was an emotional road to get here. Simone, I know you, and I've known you for a long time, and I love you dearly and deeply. When I see your emotions on display, I feel you.
Yeah.
Just describe how you're feeling this time around.
A little bit more tired this time around. I'm a little bit older, so I get tired quicker. But I was really happy, but I was just sad because everybody came out here to watch us, and I didn't give them my best performance.
Not her best, but still the best. And while the crowd celebrated her with a standing ovation, it was Simone who turned around and cheered on her teammate and friend, Jordan Childs. Jordan.
Yes.
You're going to the Olympic Games. You, my friend, are an Olympian. Simone Biles wrapped her arms around you in that moment. Tell me what it felt like to know you made that team.
It was honestly the most amazing feeling in my life. Having her by my side 24/7 and giving me encouraging words every day definitely helped, and it was very motivational.
Y'all are cute, Biles and Childs. Michaela, this dream, some dreams take a long time. Some happen overnight, and some take a while, but as they always say, your dream is right on time.
Mm-hmm.
So as you venture out and you realize that you're about to step into a big dream, how will you sleep tonight? What will you be thinking about?
I don't think I'll be sleeping. Even after last Olympics, kind of being so close to it, I'm really glad that I never gave up my dream and I kept going.
You had a tough year, boy. I mean, I know that you went through a lot. I know you had COVID. I know you were hospitalized. I know that you wondered, am I ever going to get back to my performing best? Mm-hmm. Look at you.
I know. I survived.
Who's the oldest one? Is it Simone or is it you?
It's me.
Wait,
Michaela's me beat by 3 months.
Yeah.
So you're both 24, you're 3 months older? Mm-hmm. So you no longer have the elder statesman title? Grandma has gone over there?
I feel like we both share. It's like 50-50.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, you all do kind of care for the other members of your team.
Yeah, of course.
And what do you get out of that, Simone?
We get our youth back. I mean, they keep us going, especially in those workouts in the gym, and we've had such hard times, but seeing the younger ones come up, it's been motivational.
What freaks me out about watching you guys, and literally I was binge eating while you all were competing, but it just struck me, you guys, that you practice since you're a child, and it comes down to 30 seconds, 1 minute. So Grace, describe that feeling.
Yeah, I think you just have to remember, I've done 1,000 of these routines in the gym, so you just have to trust yourself and trust your gymnastics and that you know what you're doing.
For Suni, this isn't only her dream come true, but her dad's. Her biggest fan has faced his own challenges. Just 2 years ago, an accident left him paralyzed. I wasn't sure if I was more emotional watching you or watching your dad up there.
Yeah.
Did you feel him?
I did. It took me a minute to realize that I was going to the Olympics, but I looked up there and I knew that he was very emotional, and so was the rest of my family.
Well, I loved in one of your interviews you said you didn't describe it as your dream, you said it was our dream.
This has been our dream for the longest, basically since I was a baby. He's been by my side through everything, so to have him here at the Olympic trials with me is something that was so amazing.
Just the dismount.
Come on, Jade.
Very nice.
Jade's going to the Olympics. Oh my gosh, has that just sunk in? I mean, your dad's coaching you, you're going to the Olympic Games.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and I'm really glad that I have my dad to share it with.
That is true. So your dad's going to be, is that your dad the only parent who's going to be there? Yeah, right, because he's coaching.
So.
Yeah. Well, your dad's going to have to share and help out with everybody. You guys, we are going to be cheering you on. You may not have your moms and your dads and your friends, but you'll have us.
We have Hoda.
Oh, they're going to have all of us, you guys. They are on fire. I can't tell you how emotional and beautiful it was. You saw Simone have that stumble on the beam, and she got very emotional afterwards. She says all of her emotions are heightened, but she came back. She did a great job. So we're pumped, man. We're ready for Tokyo.
Yes, we are.
Pumping us up, Hoda. You should go speak to every American team that's going to compete in Tokyo and just give them like a hype speech.
Oh, Carson, they are so ready for us. And I have to tell you, listening to that crowd scream, they were doing the wave like it was insane in there. It was like being at a rock concert, Carson. So I think it's going to be different there. They're going to be relying on each other. But I said, man, they got Team NBC. They got nothing to worry about. We'll be there with them.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Welcome back. It's been just over 6 months since our dear friend Bobbie Thomas, today's style editor, lost her husband, Michael.
Yeah, anybody who knew Bobbie, whether it's in person or through TV, knows that she wears her heart squarely on her sleeve. And when Bobbie realized that opening up about her own journey could possibly help someone else, she knew right away it was the right time to share not just her grief, but her courage and her gratitude.
I don't need to be told there was a silver lining or a bigger reason. There isn't. And that is okay for me to feel. At the same time, I'm also holding gratitude.
And what do you have gratitude for, Bobbie?
My son. And I have gratitude for being loved.
A love that was sealed on a glorious summer day when Bobbie got married at Kathy Lee's house. I remember it so vividly. It was one of the most beautiful days.
I was so scared. And I remember Kathy Lee saying, "This is happening. We're walking." Michael was just so happy.
I promise to always support you and love you unconditionally and to take care of you as long as we both shall live.
He would just look across the room and say, "Hey, we have a really good thing, right?" And I'd say, "Yeah." We were so deeply bound.
That bond carried Michael and Bobbie through the good times and the challenging ones. Shortly after their fairy tale wedding in 2013, Bobbie and Michael publicly shared their very personal journey to parenthood.
It takes a village to raise children, but to make them too.
We celebrated alongside them when they revealed they were expecting.
Can we say that again? Bobbie is pregnant.
She is pregnant.
Thank God.
Yes.
Thank God.
And when they welcomed little Miles into their lives. But 4 years later, at just 40, Michael would suffer a stroke while on a business trip. Remarkably, he recovered. Then, in the fall of 2020, Michael developed a bacterial infection that led to complications he could not overcome. When we heard the news that Michael had passed, it was so devastating and shocking. Was it something that you expected?
It was 5 weeks in the ICU, and it was just one thing after the other, like a domino effect. It was multiple organ failure. I knew he had been diagnosed with something rare before we got married. It had to do with his immune system, and it was always positioned as chronic and manageable. Deep inside, I knew that we may not be holding hands at 80, 90.
But Bobbie cherishes the time she did have with Michael.
When Michael and I were going through some of the hardest times, it was so simple. That simplicity was magic. You woke up, you worried about what mattered, and you were so grateful for what you had.
It's so weird to think about little conversations. Oh, my husband did this, my husband did that.
It's okay. My friends still call me and, we'll do the, this happened. And you feel ashamed for being in pain, but you still want people to share things with you and make you feel connected. But it is wild to experience the clarity.
What does that mean?
In the middle of those conversations, to want to support your friend and her perspective of what's happening, but to deeply feel the clarity of, it doesn't matter. Who cares that he didn't do the laundry? I'm sorry it's annoying, but he's here. And I wake up trying to find some t-shirts that still smell like Michael. Which ones weren't washed,
Subways are trains to travel underground.
What? And at just 5, their son Miles is also looking for ways to cope.
That's the most painful because I'm his mom. One night at bedtime, he asked me, who invented it and why? And I thought he was gonna ask me about a truck or something. Yeah. And he said, this life. I was stunned. Yeah. And he's like, I just don't understand why we all can't be angels. And he was still trying to figure out how we could all be together. Oh my God!
What do you think Michael would be thinking right now of you and Miles and where you are in this moment?
He had this easiness to him, and I was always stressing out. And he would just be like, it's okay, it's gonna be okay.
He always did say that, didn't he?
I think he's probably trying to tell me it's gonna be okay in some way.
Is it gonna be okay?
I hope so. I'm so scared.
You said, in this moment, I'm so lucky. How?
Instead of worrying about that I lost him, I think the little time he had, he gave to me. And I'm really, really lucky.
And Bobbie is obviously in a lot of grief, but she says that grief is, she actually sits with that because it reminds her of how much she loved and loves him, continues to love him. She actually said she's more in love today, on that day than she has been throughout her marriage to Michael. And the other thing she said, which struck me, was if we're thinking about reaching out to somebody and you're afraid, like, not right now, she was like, just do it. Yeah. Just do it, because sometimes we're afraid. And she was touched. I told her when I left, Savannah was like, please, and I said, Savannah was, when I left, everyone's embracing you. We have your arms around you. And she got weepy and she said, that's my other family. So,
I love her so much. Yeah. I mean, just what she's doing amazes me. She's so strong, but she's also sincere. She tells the truth.
Yes.
It hurts. But she's also that love that she's feeling for for Michael and missing him. It means a lot to Miles too.
Yes.
To see that love.
But the idea that she said she's not sure it's going to be okay.
Not sure.
Yeah.
I think it's healing to a lot of people. Her sincerity, you don't know who she may have touched even this morning.
And by the way, she kept saying, and she almost felt guilty about feeling bad. She goes, do you know how many more people have lost people over this pandemic? But anyway, she says it's okay when people say it's going to get better, you're going to meet someone. She said, please don't say those kinds of things. Yeah. I think people do it with good intent, but
and there's no right way to grieve. I mean, there isn't,
Everybody's journey.
Yes, but our hearts are with Bobbie.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes, this is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day. Let's change the world.
Love it!
Let's go. This is a critical choke point for this fire.
from New Orleans. Nice to really spend some time with you. Appreciate it.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Shining a light on one of Hoda's favorite organizations.
So pumped up, guys. It's called Groove With Me, a community that was hard hit by the pandemic, and I'm real happy to donate to that group. And thankfully, the kids are now back in class, and this summer marks its 25th year. So we thought something special was in order. So we had this idea. So one of my favorite photographers is YouTube star Jordan Matter. He takes iconic photos of dancers and other action heroes. Well, he's also taken a few shots of someone really near and dear to me. It was actually my very first photo shoot with Haley. So anyway, Jordan agreed to take pictures of the Groove With Me girls out on the town for their very own celebrity shoot. Take a look.
Wow.
When I was born, I knew dance was gonna be the only thing I would ever want to do.
I'm capable of anything when I dance. It's just me feeling every emotion that I feel in my body.
Dancing makes me feel like I should just spread love. Whenever I spin, I feel like I'm a bird in the air just spinning on a nice fluffy cloud.
Groove With Me it's like a second home. That's what it is.
Outside of Groove With Me, I'd say our girls have to grow up fast.
Our neighborhood is like a cave with a bunch of bears fighting because a lot of people fight in our neighborhood.
Living in East Harlem, you always have to be very cautious. There's people who secretly carry guns, people who try to rob you, and then people who are drunk all the time.
But while they're at Groove With Me, they have a completely different experience.
You feel safe and free and ready just to fly to get out of what struggles you have.
When I see the little kids dancing, it feels nostalgic because it's like I was in their shoes once.
I know that they're trying their best. The bigger girls impress me by doing all these things. That makes me feel like you gotta keep trying and trying.
Black and brown girls in East Harlem attend college at a lower rate than the national average. But 100% of girls at Groove With Me attend college because girls at Groove With Me have learned that they matter.
I see other people graduate high school or graduate college. It helps me not give up on me.
It makes me feel really special, which is what I'm supposed to feel about myself.
When COVID hit, we thought we'd be closed for 2 weeks. We were closed for 8 months.
I was like, what am I gonna do? Am I still gonna be a famous dancer when I grow up? I was crying.
The girls didn't have a place to go outside of home.
I actually lost one of my grandmas, which made me very, very sad. We didn't say goodbye to her. We didn't hug her. When I finally got to come back, I was so happy. So happy. When I say so happy, I mean so happy.
We raised 85% less this year than in previous years. If we don't raise the money, obviously we can't run the program.
If I could never dance, I would be heartbroken because dancing is my life.
We don't care if they become dancers. We care that they feel good about themselves so they make good choices and they get to have great futures.
When I grow up, I want to be a businesswoman.
I want to be a clinical psychologist,
a doctor, an astronomer. I'm gonna be famous.
When they tell me these big careers, it provides hope, that they're looking at where they are right now and noticing that it isn't permanent.
When people see me dance, I want them to know that You gotta believe in yourself.
If you believe that you can go that high and you can go that far, then you will. What I learned from Bobbie me is that you're not alone, and that when life brings you down, stand up and dance to fly above it.
Wow. Come on, didn't you fall in love? You kind of did. Really. We want to thank Jordan Matter for taking those incredible shots. He's got great work. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got a book out. But when you go back to Groove With Me for those kids, it gave them someplace to go after school, a purpose. So while other kids didn't have a place to go, they did. The high school graduation rate is in the 90+, and again, the college graduation rate, 100%. So Abby McGrath, who's the founder of that organization, is doing a great job.
The photographs are so beautiful. They should make a coffee table book and sell it.
Ooh, that's a great
And all
idea.
the
You
proceeds should go to Groove With Me.
That's brilliant.
How about that?
You could raise money for that.
Yeah, that's what
I think it's brilliant.
Oh my goodness.
Why not? It's absolutely beautiful. Y'all right
Of
over
all
there.
the stories we heard today, this is what I'm like bawling over. But I will say this, as a short brown girl who used to dance, you know, when you think of ballet, you think of these tall swan-like figures. So it's very challenging sometimes to love to dance, but not look like what a dancer is supposed to look like. So when you go to a class like that and you look around, there are other girls who look like you, and it feels good. I live in Harlem. I know what they're going through. So it just hit me on so many levels. That is so important. That program is so important.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's go. This is a critical choke point for this fire. And good evening from New Orleans. Nice to really spend some time with you. Appreciate it.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
If there ever was a list of people we'd love to have as our first studio guest back in the studio, you'd better believe numero uno would be the lady we have today, Tina Fey.
Yes, we made the list. She's on it. She's a 9-time Emmy winner. And while some of us were catching up on old shows over quarantine, Tina was working on new ones, including the hilarious Hoda's very favorite show of all time, Girls 5 Eva. It's about a one-hit wonder girl group from the 90s who reunite for a second chance at fame.
And we are so happy to have Tina here today. Ladies and gentlemen, the one deal with Tina Fey!
Yes!
We did it! Yes! We did it! We did it! Hi, Tina!
Hi, Tina. We're sorry we don't have a bus, but our budget is a little...
We're at the 4th hour.
Yeah.
We're going to get you a cab. But we want to congratulate you first and foremost. We've got a second season, because I'm part of
By
it.
the way,
100%.
She actually is a producer. I don't know if you know that.
I feel like, we have season 2 was announced yesterday. Girls 5 Eva will be doing a season 2, which is fantastic news, mostly for Hoda, but for us as well.
No, Hoda sent me the first 5 episodes, and she is your #1 fan.
I was literally begging Jenna to watch. I said
she didn't have to beg me too hard.
I didn't. Yeah.
But the best part is that she also says you'll relate with this part. For example, when Paula Pell sweats a lot,
sweats through her clothes,
and throws water. But the writing is so funny, and it is relatable, even though it's about something that most of us will not experience, which is being in a wonder group.
Yeah, even though it's about women who are in a band, it's super relatable. Meredith Scardino is the writer-creator, and she is one of the funniest humans ever. And yeah, it's really about kind of like, you know who you were when you were 20, but who are you now when you're about 40? And what friendships you bring with you, and you know, and I think also in terms of pop music and culture, we're all looking back now at the 90s being like, oh, some of the stuff we thought was normal was not normal.
Yes.
That's very true.
Well, it's funny, the writing's funny, the singing is funny, but it also has a real soul to it. I like that part of the show. And it's kind of cool to watch these girls find their voice in their 40s and 50s. I was just curious, like, when did you feel like, you know what, actually, I'm saying what I think now. Now I'm stepping up for myself.
That's a great question. I think, you know, somewhere after 40, where you just feel a calm about, like, no, I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. I think that was a good turning point for me personally.
Yeah, we were talking earlier. You have 2 girls, and one of them is in this show. Stars as Busy Phillips' daughters. What's it like to watch them come into their own? Because, you know, so many times as moms, we like want to hold their hands. Were you a stage mommy?
The only stage mom thing I did that I was like, wow, this is not great, was our daughter Penelope was on set and she was doing a great job, and then, like, you know, it takes a long time to shoot things, and it was getting to be when you kind of try to finish stuff before you break for lunch. There she is. And I had a moment where I thought she was getting a little tired, and I was like, give her a Snickers. Which is like the worst kind of stage mom thing to be like, give them a Red Bull. But I didn't give her a Red Bull. You know, Snickers.
By the way, I have to say, these women sing so beautifully, and I'm convinced that one of their songs is going to wind up on the charts because
Hoda's going to talk it into existence.
I was a Brady Bunch fan. I think I'll go for a walk outside now. The summer sun's calling my name. I mean, if it is possible there, I think it can be possible. You guys do have an album out, essentially, right?
Yeah, we have this album out. What happened was that, you know, there are, I think, something like 31 songs or tiny pieces of songs in the first season, and some of them you just hear a tiny snippet. But then we realized, because it was Peacock, that we could have end credits sequence, that Jeff Richmond, our composer, and Meredith were like, oh, we should finish the songs. And so it was so funny to hear, you know, we'd hear like a little bit of Dawn's I'm Afraid song about all her anxieties, and then Meredith would send the rest. She would write the rest of the lyrics, and they would literally be handing them to Sarah in the booth, being like, sing this now. And people were just crying, laughing in the booth at these new jokes and also at her beautiful voice.
People should listen to I'm Afraid, but do it when your kids aren't in the room, but it is so hilarious.
Hi, Today All Day. We've got a great show for you on this Monday morning, including an all-day exclusive chat you can only see here. Let's kick it off with the return of pop star. Check it out.
First up, some sad news this morning. Beloved actress Markie has died after a nearly 4-year battle with cancer. She is best known for her role as public defender Christine Sullivan on the hit NBC sitcom Night Court. NBC News Now anchor Joe Fryer is here with more on her life and career. Good morning to you.
Hey there, good morning. That's right. Remarkably, Markie Post continued to act despite her cancer diagnosis. Her family and co-stars say she'll be remembered not just for her talent on screen, but also her kindness and resilience behind the scenes.
Markie Post was a beloved performer, gracing Americans' televisions for years, most famously in NBC's hit Night Court.
My clients plead innocent, Your Honor.
What grounds?
Well, they claim to be victims of a mind meld.
She played the sincere public defender Christine Sullivan, who passionately represented offbeat characters in trouble with the law.
I can't help it, sir. I love this job. Helping the downtrodden, serving justice, gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, it makes my skin crawl, too.
Post starred on the long-running show for 7 years, just part of a career that spanned 4 decades. Among her other best-known roles, bail bondswoman Terry Michaels in the adventure series The Fall Guy.
Colt, I have got to get this guy back. I'm going to be out a lot of money.
And Cameron Diaz's mom in the 1998 comedy There's Something About Mary. She also had appearances in Cheers.
You are a very attractive man, but for me to give up my friendship with Diane, you'd have to be rich, too.
And Scrubs.
When she's depressed, she hits a bag of Doritos like there's diamonds at the bottom.
After a nearly 4-year fight with cancer, Post passed away Saturday at the age of 70.
Peggy!
Despite her diagnosis, her family says she was determined to keep acting between chemo treatments, even guest starring on the series The Kids Are All Right. Her family writes, "Our pride is in who she was in addition to acting, a person who made elaborate cakes for friends, sewed curtains for first apartments, and showed us how to be kind, loving, and forgiving in an often harsh world." Post co-stars are also remembering their friend. From Night Court's John Larroquette, "We all wish she could have stayed longer, but we thank the cosmos for blessing us and enriching the world with her for as long as it did."
Now, in the 90s, Markie starred in the political sitcom Hearts of Fire. Her father was played by Ed Asner, who yesterday called her a true talent. One of post-Night Court co-stars was Charles Robinson, who played the court clerk Mac. He passed away just last month at the age of 75.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Thanks, Joe. All right. Next up, some breaking news from Jon Stewart and Pete Davidson. The duo just announced an upcoming comedy show set to take place here in New York next month, titled NYC Still Rising After 20 Years, a comedy celebration. The show, in remembrance of the 20th anniversary of 9/11, Davidson's father, a New York City firefighter, died in those attacks. And Stewart, of course, has been an outspoken proponent for the First Responders Victims Compensation Fund. Now look at this. As for the show, it will be on September 12th at Madison Square Garden. Look at the folks featuring an all-star lineup of comedians. Look at this. Amy Schumer, Jimmy Fallon, Colin Jost, Colin Quinn, Dave Chappelle, John Mulaney, Michael Che, and Wanda Sykes. All proceeds from the show will go to benefit 9/11 charities. Tickets go on sale this Friday.
Jon Stewart picked up the phone and called all of his friends.
And everyone said yes. Yes, exactly. All right, next up, big news from the set of the highly anticipated Sex and the City reboot. Any Sex and the City fans? Yes? John James Preston, a.k.a. Mr. Big, is officially back. Actor Chris Knopf sharing this pic over the weekend alongside co-star Sarah Jessica Parker, captioning the post, "Together again." SJP revealing her own look at Carrie and Big's latest chapter with this photo, writing, "These two, I bet they stay out late tonight." It's been more than 10 years since fans saw the on and off again couple finally tie the knot on show's big screen sequel. And it looks like things are finally working out for Carrie's love life in this reboot. The upcoming series, and just like that, is currently in production. No date for the release. But it's going to be on HBO Max, and people are looking forward to it.
Wow, it's a packed pop start.
Up next on Today Talks, Dylan gives us a peek at something special she's been working on.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Welcome back. Today in the third hour, Dylan reveals a real page-turner she's been working on.
Okay, it is time for Overheard on Third on the Plaza. Dylan has been juggling a lot lately, including her newest children's book. I just told her during the commercial break, I'm like, it's real.
I know, it's really
been talking about this for a long time. So in Parents Magazine, she's talking about Misty the Cloud and how it has been really years in the making.
Yeah, no, it's something Brian and I came up with, well before we ever thought about having kids. So we talk about that in the article, where the idea came from. I also talk about some of my favorite books that I like reading to the boys and what I liked reading growing up. And there's one story I tell. It's funny because I'll read a book and I read it, word for word as is. When my father-in-law reads the book to the kids, he makes all the characters family members. So then when I go back to read the book later, Calvin's like, no, that's you. That's Ollie. That's Pop. So it makes it very confusing when it comes to telling the story. But it's a nice little article, and the book comes out September 28th.
Well, congratulations, Missy the Cloud. Seriously, there was a day when I first met Dylan, like soon after, she was talking about this idea for a children's book. And so now, almost 7-8 years later.
I said, here's a rough draft. Can you give it to your kids?
Oh my
see if they
gosh.
like it?
And now it'll be in bookstores. Which
I
is
know,
amazing.
which I'm so excited.
Okay.
So you can pick up on that Parents Magazine on stands now, I think. Yeah. Okay, we wanted to do something different, a little bit unusual. We've got a Jenga set out here, and some of these have actual questions from you folks.
From you guys.
Plaza.
So they posed you.
I don't know why you didn't just ask us in person, but we put them on a Jenga box.
Okay, so here we go. You go first.
Me go first?
Yeah.
What?
So what happens if it falls?
Which it could fall. It's like humid out here. You can't play Jenga when it's humid. I'm going to take the top one. Okay. What's your go-to karaoke song? Good question. Mine is "We Didn't Start the Fire" by Billy Joel.
Mine
Do you even know that
is-
song?
We didn't start.
Okay.
Yeah. Mine is "Honey, I'm Home" by Shania Twain. Don't
Yeah,
get
I
me can started.
see you.
I don't know, for some reason, all day. I can do that one. All right, here's another one. This one says, if you could cameo in a TV show, what would it be and why?
A current or past
Whatever
TV
you
show?
want.
Mine obviously would be Seinfeld, just because I feel like my life revolves around Seinfeld.
Oh my gosh. You know what show I wanted to be on so badly? You guys probably won't know the show. It was called Kids Incorporated.
I remember
You
Kids
remember?
Incorporated.
Did you just hit me? No, I'm just kidding.
I love that show.
I would watch it.
K-I-D-S-O. It's like I made it to kids.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, you know Kids Incorporated.
Of course I know
Kids
Friends.
Incorporated.
Okay.
Okay. What shows are you currently binging? I actually just wrapped up Black Monday on Showtime. We've had, a lot of the cast on the show over the years. Andrew Reynolds is on the show. Such a good show. I mean, dark and crass, but I mean.
And to continue
totally
the dark theme, pass the baton, Dr. Death on Peacock.
Oh,
so
just
good.
had them on the show.
I know, so good with Christian Slater.
Yes.
Dr. Anyway, okay, are we out of time? Oh, do we have time for one more?
Time for one.
Okay, go ahead.
No, it's your turn.
Is it my turn? I'm gonna go for.
It's hard because they're like it's
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, the question is, what did you want to be when you quote unquote grew up?
It's your question.
This.
Really?
5th grade career day. I have a sheet of yellow construction paper, helmet hair, hoop earrings, and I have those
grade?
squiggly
Fifth
lines.
grade?
5th grade. Thank you, Mrs. James.
I remember preschool, we did, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you had to dress up like it. So I brought a curling iron in with me because I really wanted to, be a hairstylist.
Oh, there you go.
So,
We
and-
still have some kind of curls.
Yeah, but I didn't do them.
Okay, that's fair. All right.
Thank you, Kim.
Good question.
Thanks, guys.
Coming up on Hoda and Jenna, it's another party on the plaza after this.
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
Let's go. This is a critical choke point for this fire. And good evening from New Orleans. Nice to really spend some time with you. Appreciate Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go. Let's go. This is a critical choke point for this fire. And good evening from New Orleans. Nice to really spend some time with you. Appreciate it.
Welcome back. Today on Hoda and Jenna, we're bringing the beach to the Big Apple as we kick off our 3-day beach party on the plaza. Check it out. We are kicking off a 3-day beach party on the plaza right here in the heart of Midtown Manhattan. Our house band is the Caribbean Vibe Steel Drum Band. And let's say hello to Dwayne, Kareem, and Jelani. Hey guys, they are talented. We are just hanging with our crowd, and you know what? We want to say hello to Hoda. Hoda is our Today Show mascot. He's getting that rest and relaxation now that the Olympics have ended. And you know what? Hoda is also getting some rest. She's taking a well-deserved time off to be with her family. And in her seat is comedian Buteau, who is hanging with me today.
Hey, it's a beach party!
We're throwing it for you.
Hi, everyone. This is so exciting.
Isn't this awesome? We are so happy you're here.
I am so happy to be here. Happy birthday, Hoda.
Yes,
oh my
happy
God,
birthday,
Leo
Hoda.
energy up in here. I love it so much.
Wait, by the way, it is Hoda's birthday, and only Hoda wakes up at 4:30 or 5 on her birthday. I was texting her this morning, and she was writing back at the crack of dawn, but she's doing everything she wants. She's surrounded by her family, by her girls.
I love that.
And so she deserves a
I was also up early in the morning, but not for fun.
Okay, you have to tell me.
It has been, I'm so glad I made it here in a dress that's still holding it together, because my twins, I have 2.5-year-old twins, up every hour, getting out of their crib. We have a puppy. I went to go get little boy in the evening, stepped in the puppy's mess.
No.
Yes, sorry.
No.
Yes, sorry, everybody. Yes.
Wait, first of all, being a mother of 2.5-year-old twins, I have a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
How do you, and I was a twin and probably a terrible one at that. Yes. How do you do it?
I don't know. It's a very cute sleepwalking. It's a very cute sleep, but I'm so happy to be here.
Oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, we love Michelle. She does a bit of everything in show business. She's been in rom-coms like the hit movie Always Be My Baby, one of my faves.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, she also hosts the reality competition show The Circle, which just came out with season 2.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, I mean, The Circle is a really fun show on Netflix. It's a reality competition game. And to be honest, I can break the news now. We're coming out with season 3 next month, everybody.
Season 2 hasn't just came out and you're already coming with season 3?
Book, blessed, and busy, honey.
I mean, you really are.
Yeah.
Okay, plus, of course, you have the Netflix comedy special, Welcome to Buteau. It's streaming now. And you got a Critics' Choice Award for that one.
I know! First female to ever win the award.
Isn't that crazy?
I tied with Seinfeld. Well, Seinfeld tied with me. Hi, Jerry.
Okay, so you were up all night long.
All night long. And then I walked in it and I was like, oh no. And then my daughter came over and was like, what are you guys doing? And then she walked in it.
Oh no.
So then at 3:30 in the morning, the whole family's up just, cleaning the floor. It was truly something out of a movie nobody wants to watch.
Okay.
How was your evening?
Okay, my evening was okay, but I have to show you something. Oh. And I want your real reaction.
Okay.
Okay. I was getting my nails done with my children.
Yes.
And Mila, my 8-year-old, told me that the rage is to do colorful tips on like a French manicure.
Yes.
So, first reaction, these are my nails.
Okay. It's a choice.
It's a choice.
It's a choice, and it's not permanent.
Now, is it the brown? The brown that kind of.
This is the theme this morning. Yes.
Yes,
it is the brown.
I mean, I want to show you all this because whoa. Yo, we're getting some stormy weather up here in the plaza. Okay, I did a brown tip, and my husband goes, it looks like you have dirt under your fingernails. And
whoa! It's getting wild.
And then my daughter was like, it looks like you used the restroom without toilet paper.
Well, you know what?
Is that what it looks like?
Kind of. But we're new friends, so I don't want to lie to you.
No, I'm glad that
mean?
You're being transparent and honest.
Have to be.
Okay, should we play a little game?
I love games.
Since you have such a unique story and career, we wanted to play a little game called Getting Buteau You.
Yes, honey, you better sing
Did you like it?
I'm turning my chair around the voice as we speak in my mind. Yes.
Not really. Okay, we're going to go through some fun facts. and you just tell us true or false or more about it.
Okay.
First up, you used to be an overnight editor at the local NBC station here in New York.
That is 100% true. I used to, oh my God, look at that picture. I used to edit the local news. This is how long ago it was. It was a whole other century. And I used to work the overnight shift. So I would do 3 or 4 shows at night and then go in midnight, 1 a.m.
Did you want to be in the news business?
You know what? I wanted to be a reporter. I wanted to be an entertainment reporter because I just love Mary Hart and like a statement limp and shoulder pads and just like recapping a story.
Look at you now!
Look at me now! But the thing is that I had a college professor tell me I was too fat to be on camera. So I was like, I'll just go into production.
Wait,
then.
what?
That's crazy. It's crazy. Again, another life. And so I'm glad I took this journey, the long road here, the slow simmer. So that's why I always tell my friends and anyone else interested in dreaming to do something, just take your time because you never know when it's going to happen, but it will happen. Ow, look at your girl in the beach dress. Look at the sand. It's real.
These chairs. No, and you know what? I mean, that professor watching right now.
Oh, he can double tap on my Instagram posts, honey.
Yeah, double tap them. Okay, your mom is from Jamaica, your dad is from Haiti, and your husband is from Holland.
Yes.
And you're from New Jersey?
Yes, its own country, New Jersey. Whoop, whoop, how you doing? Yes, that is all of us. I have to say, the Thanksgiving dinner is real fun. I need subtitles for everybody. There's a lot of different accents happening, but yeah.
How'd you meet your husband?
Really? I don't think I can say it.
Yes,
so
you can.
In the morning.
Go, please tell us.
Let's just say I opened up my mind and my heart to love. Let's just say that. Let's just say I said yes to the dress before we really got to know each other. Let's just say.
How was the first date?
The first date was magical.
Was it?
Yes.
And you knew right away?
Yes. It's annoying, I knew. In fact, like 3 months in, I made him tell me he loved me. Because I was like, we were long distance, New York to Amsterdam.
Whoa.
Because he was from Holland. And I'm like, look, I can't keep traveling and using up all my miles for someone who doesn't love me. And I was like, do you love me? He's like, I have feelings of love towards you. I said, that's not good enough. You said you're going to make me say it? I said, say it. You got to just tell him what to do sometimes, guys.
You know, I've said this on the show before, but at 3 months, my husband told me he loved me.
See?
And I said, and my sister was like dancing with us. And I said, let's get married. And he was like dancing back away from me, like towards the bar. He was like, no, no, no. Okay, you have 2-year-old twins. We already talked about this. Hazel and Otis.
Yes.
And you're a helicopter mom?
I am a helicopter mom.
No, you are not.
I am. Look, I don't have time to go to the emergency room, okay? Like, we need to figure it out. If you cannot figure out how to climb down the tree, don't climb up it. So I'm all over them. And my husband is like a Jimmy Buffett concert. He would love this right now. He is so chill in his Tommy Bahama shirts. He's like, you know, let him figure it out. I'm like, no, 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 no.
So you're up there like, get down.
Yes.
And are you also a tiger mom? Like, do you want them to be
accomplished? No, I know I'm actually wearing tigers on my dress, but no, that's false advertising.
Are those tigers or cheetahs?
Let's say they're tigers, cheetahs, pineapples, whatever. It's a beach theme. I took
you
the
went
note.
for it. Okay, also, you share the same birthday as J-Lo, July 24th, and you're co-starring with her and her new movie.
Her new movie, Marry Me, that comes out next year. And just being with J-Lo on set is so hard not to stare at her because she's so beautiful. And she's also like, is watching like a Puerto Rican masterclass walk into the room. Like, it's amazing. Good knees, edges.
Do you find yourself just like...
Yes.
And then what do you do to get out of that?
I count backwards from 100. It helps. It's soothing.
Okay, you also have a book of essays called Survival of the Thickest.
Yes!
And you were a little bit freaked out when your mom got a copy?
I did. Survival of the Thickest. I love this book so much. Plus-size essays in a small-minded world. Ow. But there is a chapter called Game of Hose. And so I was like, Mom, skip this one. Just skip it.
Game of Hose?
Game of Hose. Can I say that?
Well, you just did, and I say sure. Meredith went like this, so if she went like this, that's a yes.
Sorry, everyone.
So, y'all, there's this new thing in Hollywood. Have you heard about this? Since you wanted to be an entertainment reporter, this is good for you. Apparently, there's a new wellness trend that's about bathing and showering less.
Yes, I've heard that.
Right? Jake Gyllenhaal just said that he
sure did.
Bathes less.
Okay, Jake.
Yeah, he said that he told Vanity Fair for some reason that I find bathing to be less necessary at times.
Look, Jake, I don't want to, like, it's your journey, and now I know when I hug you, but I'm just like, we have we have really clean water. Why don't we use it?
I know. Well, Mila Kunis and her husband Ashton Kutcher, they also revealed that they don't wash their full bodies with soap every day. They just wash
the hot spots.
Yeah, the hot spots.
Got it. The important.
Y'all, do y'all wash every day?
The hot spots, yeah.
Y'all raise your hand if you wash every day. Okay, who's gonna be honest? Oh, look, there's even people over there raising their hands.
Oh, good.
Okay, raise your hand if you don't. Be honest. Oh, there's one. Okay, I love you. Okay.
Do you wash every day?
I wash every day. I don't wash my hair every day. What about you?
No, we wash our hair. When I say we, black women, we wash our hair once a week, and it's a whole day. We call it a wash day. Do you know what I mean? We have a book, a magazine, the whole nine, honey. But, thank you, sir. But he can confirm. But yeah, I don't understand. Like, you know, you need to clean yourself.
Yeah. Although the babes, do you wash them every day?
You know what? I do. They're in
you're a helicopter mom.
Yeah, but I have like nice soap, warm water. You know.
Yeah.
I like to.
You
wash.
keep it fresh.
Look, as a daisy.
Okay. Steel drum band. How much fun are they?
Yes.
It is time for Unscripted. Michelle, you really got into that game. You really went there.
You got to.
Okay, did you have fun playing charading places?
So much fun. It's like the most activity I've done all year.
Okay, you host a reality show.
Yes.
The Circle, which people love.
Yes.
Okay, Netflix just announced the world's largest ever reality casting call.
Yes.
Fans age 18 and over can submit a 1-minute video of themselves and then can be in any of the Netflix reality shows.
That's right. If you are a fan of any Netflix reality show, whether it's Nailed It or Marie Kondo's show, whatever it is.
Floor is Lava.
Look.
I love the Floor is Lava.
Do you? Would you submit yourself for that show?
No, because they get injured. But what about you? What's your reality show of choice?
Oh my goodness, I guess it would be Nailed It because I'm pretty good at baking, but I'm not British Bake Off ready.
Yeah.
So I feel like I blow the competition out the water, and I do appreciate that.
My kids love Nailed It.
Really?
Yeah, we watch it as a family.
I love Nicole Byer. People think we're the same person all the time.
Oh, wow. Today Talks continues after the break. We have an exclusive chat you can only see here on Today All Day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes, this is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes, this is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
Welcome back to Today Talks and our exclusive content you can only see here on Today All Day. We done. You made it through a show.
Yes.
And I was telling you when we were talking to the audience, I was like, by the way, this isn't always like this. Like, we're out here on the plaza.
Yeah. It's so fun. It's so fun because it just feels like you're at like a wedding and you're doing a live show within a wedding across the country. So you're like, hello, let's go. We're gonna meet the band.
Was it fun or was it like, you were great.
You are great.
But did you ever think about doing something like this? You should.
No. I mean, like, look, I love connecting with people and having fun, right? And that's always great. But, you know, I also love stand-up comedy because I get to be, you know, I get to say dirty stuff.
You get to be a little raunchy.
A little raunchy, yes.
But, so as a little girl, what did you dream of? Like, what did you hope to be? You wanted to be a journalist?
You know, when I was in college, I really wanted to be an entertainment reporter.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with, like, recapping a story of who did what.
I wonder if we're around the same age, where it was like Britney and Paris and all, like Hilton and all those girls. I'm turning 40.
Okay, yeah, I mean,
Are
good
you
for
younger?
Yes, you are serving it.
I'm
I saw you
turning
do
40.
those abs. Yeah, I love that. I'm 44, so, but I was also an only child and an old soul, so I was like, what's Liberace up to? I was that kid, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was a lot of entertainment tonight with my mom and Mary Hart.
I love that.
Yeah. What did you want to be?
I wanted to be like a Broadway star. Like, and what I wanted to be, it was never going to happen though. My mom still drove me to like the Dallas Convention Center where I would try out for Les Miserables, and every year they'd be like, no.
But you have a castle on a cloud. Let's go.
That's what I would sing it with, like a little broom, and they'd be like, wow, you're a very tan, well-fed Texan. Like, doesn't really work with the French Revolution. You know what I mean?
Oh, come on, Louisiana's right there. I know, right?
No.
So you sing?
No, I don't. That's the issue. I don't sing and I really can't act, but I liked performing. You probably did too, did you?
I did, but I never thought it could be possible. I just love that stand-up is something that I felt like I was in control of. I still do. And everything else is like amazing. Like,
so what's your favorite part about stand-up? Have you been able to get on the stage at all since the pandemic?
I did do a little run. In Brooklyn at my favorite place called the Bell House, and the show was called Bitch Got a Babysitter. And wow, the look on my husband's face when he found out he was a babysitter, LOL. And it was just fun after a year and a half to get back to jokes.
Yeah. And to make people laugh, right?
Yes, and see people's faces.
I have to tell you, my middle daughter, I sometimes forget about my third, don't tell her, but my middle daughter, Poppy, is so funny. And last night she goes, my older daughter's kind of philosophical. She goes, I wouldn't want to be famous young. And my husband was like, why? And she's like, I just think you want to have things to look forward to in life.
Whoa.
And I was like, whoa. And then Poppy goes, yeah, I don't want to be famous. I just like to make people laugh. And I was like, that type of feeling of being that kid that likes to make people laugh because it's just like delightful,
good.
And particularly in the year we've had.
That's good. Absolutely. And I love that kids are so honest.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I love that so much.
Are your kids funny, unintentionally or intentionally?
You know, I always say that Hazel makes having twins interesting and Otis makes having twins easy.
Your boy is easier?
Boy is easier. Old man Otis will go to sleep. But also, like typical toddler, only beige fried things. Hazelnut, she likes to eat a tomato as an apple, and she likes to like look at people in their face, and they're like, she can see through my soul. I'm like, we'll do better. So she is.
She might like Liberace too. She may be your mommy's daughter.
Look, she's spirited. She got it. She got the 1-2 step. So we'll see what happens.
Michelle, thank you for hanging out with me. This has been such a dream. So much fun. Will you come back?
I don't know.
I know. She may not. She may not after we put her through those 5-minute workshops. I don't blame her. All right, that's it for this episode of Today Talks. Keep watching for more Today All Day.
You are currently in Budapest. As I understand, you're shooting a film with Cate Blanchett, Jamie Lee Curtis. What's it been like working with those two?
It's been amazing, man. You know, we got an amazing cast. We're shooting Borderlands, which is an IP that has an amazing following of millions on millions. Director Eli Roth, Lionsgate's the studio behind it. You know, Cate Blanchett, Jamie Lee Curtis, myself, Jack Black. I mean, God, we got so many more. It's truly one of these situations where you stumble into an opportunity that could progress into being super, super big. You know, this is something that could easily go into part 2, 3, and beyond because of the world that we're playing in and the creativity within the space. So it's dope. It's something that's, once again, going to throw my audience for a curveball. I'm excited. Action on action. I'm responsible for the action in the movie.
What's the premise?
It's a game. You know, it's based off of a video game. So it's about the travel within planets and a search to find an individual that possesses the powers of being the quote unquote special one, you know? And in finding this particular individual, you can use their powers that they have to open up what's considered to be this magical thing called the vault, which so many people have been trying to get into for years. But to do it, you have to have the keys to go and get it done. And it's about searching for those keys, searching for the individual. And that's the story in a nutshell. But a band of misfits are kind of put together by accident, and when they're put together, they don't want to leave each other's side and end up fighting against the quote unquote bad people that live in between these planets. So it's like sci-fi, but it's really good. It's grounded within that space as well. Think Fifth Element. Think along those lines. Yeah.
You continue to stretch your legs. I mean, let's talk fatherhood for a moment. Here's a film where I think a lot of folks are going to watch this, and they're going to say, oh, that's not the Kevin Hart I know. Like, we're used to Kevin Hart making us laugh, and not to give away too much, this is Kevin Hart in a completely different light. How hard was it to make the turn?
It wasn't hard at all. I think there's no mystery from me to myself about what I'm capable of doing, especially in the space of acting. I know that I have range. I know that I got a lot of diversity. So it's all about the projects. When the right projects come along, if it's time for you to make those transitions, then of course you take it and you do it. The upside was when I felt was the right time for me to step into the direction of dramedy, and I had great company in doing so. And after that, it was like, okay, that was good. I need to find something on this level or better. And the next project that was brought up was Fatherhood. Marty Bowen had a script, brought it to me and my company at Hart, and we were blown away from day one at Matt Logan's story. And when I found out that it was true, that's when it was like, okay, this could be it, because you're not only doing a project that's good on paper, you're doing a project that you would have to be good at and stay true to because it's real. That was enough for me. When I got his reason, Matt was like, this is an opportunity to not only share my story, but bring light to a thing that happens that people don't really know happens often. And his journey from pain to happiness is one like no other. So my respect level went through the roof, and my appetite for a meaningful piece of material went through the roof as well. So everything lined up, man. Paul White's great director, met with him. And then the Obamas came in as producing partners as well. I mean, all of the boxes were checked that said go.
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go. Choke point for this fire. And good evening from New Orleans. Nice to really spend some time with you. Appreciate it.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes. This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day. Let's change the world. Love it!
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Your buddy B.O., as you call him.
Yo, B.O.
What was it like working with B.O. on a project like this? Would he call and give give some tips, some feedback? What do you say? Hey, Kev, I think maybe we should do this and not this.
You know, the thing about having good producing partners is producing partners knowing their roles and, you know, where their value is, right? And the value and promise in having the Obamas and their company as producing partners is them understanding a good IP, a good piece of content with strong substance and great meaning that could do nothing but spread a positive, needed message in today's time and in our culture, right? You know, you're talking about a Black man on the big screen playing the role of a father in a positive light. I don't think I need to say it, but it's not something you see often, right? You don't see it in a positive light often. We're crackheads, we're in jail, out of jail, we're missing, we're a discovery at the tail end of a life. It's never truly a story that's like from beginning to end, one that you follow and one that's uplifting. So in this case, I felt that there was a need and real want behind the message that was being delivered. And, you know, without putting a stamp on the race card, it's visual of this being an opportunity to change the narrative that I feel desperately needs to be changed. So the Obamas got that. And he said, this is a great opportunity to uplift Black fathers and Black men and, you know, give a nod to those that are embracing fatherhood and maybe a little nudge to those that aren't correctly, you know? So we were lucky to have him to be a part of it. Once again, everything kind of lined up and all the right boxes were checked.
Amen to that, Kevin Hart. Amen to that. How did you figure out how to cry on cue for the film?
I mean, you're pulling on emotional strings. You know, it's a heavy story. It's a heavy story. When I first read the script, honestly, I teared up in the first 30 pages. You know, when what happens, it got to me because it's like, damn, you know, this is the happiest day of you and your wife's life. And, you know, 9 months have been spent looking forward to this particular day. And on this day, to have something tarnish that or be taken, that's tough. That's tough to process. That's tough to register. And those that have had that happen to them, my prayers and condolences go out to them because I couldn't imagine. I really couldn't imagine. So it was putting myself as deep into that as I possibly could to help me get the emotional response that I did. And, you know, it also helps when you have an amazing cast around you. You know, I mean, I'm with Alfre Woodard, and I mean, you're talking about the cream of the crop, the best of the best. So, you know, those emotions come out more when you see other people putting those emotions on display at the thought of. So your game is raised by your surroundings.
And you obviously are a father of four yourself. How did you draw on your own experiences with fatherhood for the role?
I mean, that was my cheat sheet. You know, a lot of the stuff that I was doing, I had already experienced, right? So it wasn't like I was playing in a heavy false pretense for some of the stuff. Like I have 4 kids and I'm on all different ages across the board. So, you know, being able to be hands-on, being able to be a part, I know where the nervousness comes from. I know where the confidence comes from. I know where the fear comes from. I've been there, you know, I've truly lived in it. I had to find comfort and discomfort at one point in being a father. And I think so many other fathers do as well. It's just about acknowledging that, understanding that, and being true to that. And I was able to do that. I was able to take that ammunition that I had and apply it to this particular movie, and it worked. You know, I think it really worked in my favor, and it shows on the big screen.
What's been the hardest part of being a dad? What do you struggle with the most?
Hardest part of being a dad is the feeling of, am I doing a good enough job? Well, it's not a struggle. I think that's the wrong word. It's a thought that's always in the back of your head. Okay. Because as your kids get older, the real world is magnified, right? And you can protect all you want. You can pamper or do your best to do and take care of. But ultimately, that kid has to go out into the real world and experience life on their own. So with that thought in the back of your head, it's one of, did I do a good enough job to prepare? Are they ready? Are they capable? Are they going to get eaten alive and spit back out into reality? It's like these are the things that you have tug of war with, right? So, my daughter's 16, my son's 13, about to be 14. My youngest son is 3, my daughter's 8 months. So, once again, I'm very much spread out, but still, I got a 16-year-old, right? 18 is right around the corner. Am I doing a good job as a father? Am I present? Am I honest? Am I open? We're close. Are we close? Like, it's something. And I think that's what keeps you, it keeps you on your toes. It keeps you on your feet, and it keeps you in a position to always push and want for more. And that's within a relationship.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Let's go. This is a critical choke point for this fire. And good evening from New Orleans. Nice to really spend some time with you. Appreciate it.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Let's go. This is a critical choke point for this fire. And good evening from New Orleans. Nice to really spend some time with you. Appreciate it.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go.
You've been in the game a long time as a dad, as you pointed out there. You had a child during a pandemic. How was that?
Little PD, little pandemic, baby. Look, it's amazing. Being privileged to bring a child into this world, that's a blessing within itself. It's unfortunate that the times were what they were, but a blessing is a blessing. And I'm not going to take it as anything other than that. My little princess, we got a new boss of the household. And I love that there's always a changing of the guard. Everybody's had an opportunity to wear that hat, that boss hat. And right now, Ori has it. Got me wrapped around a little finger. Starting all over, once you thought you were closing, they were getting out the house, and then I went in and put 2 more in there, and I'm right back at the starting line. So it is what it is, man. I love it. I enjoy it. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
How have you changed as a dad? I mean, when you started, you were much younger.
Yeah. 41, about to be 42. You grow.
Yeah.
I mean that's the great thing about life, right? You grow as you go. So I'm very much happy into the man that I've become. The man who I was, I'm very much happy that I was that man, that I did the things that I did and got to experience a lot of the things that I experienced, because without those moments and without those things, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be in the position I am now to be poised, polished, mature, just a true adult. And I'm not done adulting. I'm not done growing. You don't get there. The wise are the old, and I truly believe that. There's nothing more refreshing than a conversation with somebody of older age, because there's so much information that comes from that person because of how much they've lived. And what you find is that the information is key to the next wave's success. But sometimes this next wave is a little too stubborn, too cocky, too bullheaded to receive it. At the older age that I am now, I've been in the position to receive a lot of those gems, and I think it truly is the beauty of life to watch time go, but to watch people grow. It's dope as hell to me.
You're a father of 4. It would seem to me, at least, not a stretch to be a father of 5, maybe 6. Have you given thought to doing it again?
Oof. It's been a discussion. I just told you this. My baby Ori, Ori's a blessing. I don't turn down a blessing. Now, am I planning for a number 5? No, I'm not. If a number 5 were to happen, then oh joy. But right now, I think 4 is a good number. We're in a good place, man. Got some dogs, got some kids. We're fine. 5, we don't need to push for 5. Not right now. I think we're in a good space.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. But I don't run anything. I don't know why I'm talking like I can make these decisions. If my wife decides she wants another baby, I gotta have another baby. Yeah, there is no pushback for me, man. None.
There was the accident a while back, and you suffered a pretty serious back injury. I caught some video online recently. You seem to be back 100%. Saw some video of Kevin Hart in the gym, and it looks like you're training for something.
Yeah, I'm definitely 100% back to myself. Currently in the best shape that I've ever been in. I mean, I got in crazy shape for Borderlands because, once again, rolling is the action. I'm all stunts. I'm all my own.
You're doing it all yourself?
I'm doing a lot of that stuff myself. I got a great team. 2 great stunt guys, man. Two great stunt guys that have been with me for quite some time. And what we do is we put me in positions to do as much of it as I possibly can. When it gets to be something crazy, my guys step in, but I love to be extremely hands-on and get in there. And I did a lot of training for this movie. So I got down to about, I'll say maybe 10.5, 11% body fat.
Wow.
And, all muscle, but I've never looked like this. I've never been in this shape ever in my life. This is definitely the best shape that I've gotten in at the age 41 and about to be 42. And I worked hard for it. So I love the results when you put in the effort.
What's left, Kevin Hart? What have you not done yet that you still want to do?
There's so many things in the entertainment space that I've been able to tap into. And what I found is that the more diverse you are, the more you can do, and the more you can elevate and create opportunities for those around you. That's what my newfound focus is. That's where my ambitions have rolled over to. So, it's about finding the success and then creating bridges to get other people up here and over here.
has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Let's go. This is a critical choke point for this fire. And good evening from New Orleans. Nice to really spend some time with you. Appreciate
it. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day. Let's change the world. Love it!
How you been? What's going on?
Drinking milk, getting tall.
So you in Budapest? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Big
Live from the pest.
I think that's not what their tourism bureau calls it.
Kevin Hart has built a career by making audiences laugh. Now the superstar comedian is proving he also can move them to tears.
Wherever you are, I want to go there.
Wherever you are, I want to go there too.
In the Netflix drama Fatherhood, Hart plays a single dad raising a daughter after the sudden death of his wife.
I'm going to do it because I'm a father.
I was ready for the Kevin Hart experience. Within, I think, 10 minutes, I was getting choked up.
This was an opportunity for me to expand my resume. People are going to be shocked when they see it and go, wow, you know, Kevin's got some dramatic chops.
2 kisses. 1 for mommy. 1 for me.
Well, I love the opportunity of being a black father on screen in a positive light. Most of the times they're on drugs, off drugs, in jail, out of jail. To have some type of positivity behind it and maybe be a part of kind of changing the stereotype.
Hart delivers that message with the help of another famous dad named Barack Obama. Fatherhood is co-produced by Higher Ground, the production company started by the former president and first lady.
Is Barack Obama calling you with notes?
You know what? I actually did talk to Barack. You know, first of all, I think it's just crazy that I can say I talked to Barack on the phone comfortably.
And the fact that you can just drop and call him Barack, that's a statement right there of where you are.
Yeah, B.O. Call him B.O. Hey, B.O., what's up, man?
I'm sure he loves that.
Kevin. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Kevin, how you doing? You tell me, B.O. I'm good. That's how it went down. The reason why they wanted to take on the project was because of the story and having them see and understand the positive message behind it. I mean, that's as good as it gets for me.
Hart specializes in positivity. His new book for middle schoolers, called Marcus Makes a Movie, is about a boy pushing through obstacles to chase a dream.
And I wanted to help motivate and inspire our youth to simply understand that the word no is just a word. Coming up as a kid, as a young adult, early in my career, I heard the word no a lot.
What's your message to the kids who might read that book, who are hearing no at school, they're hearing no in sports or in their music career, they think they're funny and they don't know how to get where Kevin Hart is?
I will say, you know, I think it's not about getting where I am, it's about getting where you want to be, right? And all I am is an example of what's reachable, what's obtainable. And what I learned is that talent is amazing to have, but hard work is going to possibly beat talent every day of the week. Hard work plus talent is undefeated.
In a year when the rest of the world slowed down, Hart's relentless hustle continued. He performed a hit 2020 Netflix stand-up special from his own living room, with his family getting ready for bed upstairs.
I'm no longer comfortable anywhere else but my house.
like people anymore.
What was that like? How do you put together an act differently than being in Madison Square Garden, for example, standing in your living room?
Well, we wanted to do something very intimate.
Let's address the elephant in the room. COVID. Newsflash, I had it. The vid-19 was in my system.
It wasn't necessarily about the performance. It was just about me being honest about my life, the pandemic.
When it first hit, I went and put gas in all the cars. I bought every N95 I saw. I spent 20 grand on N95s.
There's just a comfort that comes with being honest and aware. And that was about me having a realization that I'm good.
Does that come with experience and success too, where you're now frankly can say, I don't need to go do that project because I'm good with who I am and where I am?
It comes with experience, success, and also a true understanding of what happy is. There's a thing where this is going to make me happy, and if I get this, I'll be the happiest person ever. And then you get it. And then you go, oh, but if I get this is going to make me happy. This is all I need. But when you really realize it's about the people, family, the love, the connection, well, then things kind of change.
Everything nearly changed one night in September of 2019, when Hart was a passenger in a single-car crash that left him with serious injuries.
How much of this perspective that I'm hearing right now, Kevin, comes from the experience of surviving the car accident that you were in and being able to come home and see your wife and see your kids and appreciate everything?
I mean, tons. Understanding that you're not in control, that's a big deal. At any point in time, it can be over. Snap of fingers, over. I'm fortunate and lucky to still experience life.
I don't think most people appreciated how serious your injuries were.
Yeah.
You broke your back.
Almost paralyzed.
Almost paralyzed.
Mm-hmm.
Are you recovered today?
100% recovered. I was very lucky to still be able to walk. You know, you're talking about a couple centimeters. That's what separated me and being paralyzed.
1 year after the crash and right in the middle of a pandemic, Hart welcomed a new member of the family, his second child with wife Aniko Parrish. Hart relishing his real-life fatherhood.
How's your baby girl?
Oh, man, my baby girl is amazing. Kayori, my heart. I'm so in love, as I am all my kids, of course. But, you know, we got a new boss in the household, so it's an exciting time. It's me sitting down and getting to really tap in with my loved ones, with my wife and my kids. It was a really good thing for me.
Welcome to Today Food on Today All Day. So when life hands you lemons, you know what they say? Make limoncello. Today on an all-new saucy, Anthony Contrino showing us how to make the boozy Italian spirit plus 2 lemony sweet treats that will want to make you pucker up.
Everyone loves a sweet treat every now and then, and I have 3 that are stunning, delicious, and use one of my favorite ingredients in the entire world, Sorrento lemons. First up, a traditional Italian liqueur, Limoncello. Then, my lemon curd tartlets. Finally, my favorite, a lemon and olive oil bundt cake with limoncello glaze. So grab a lemon and pucker up. It's not every day that produce from Italy comes in, but when my local Italian market gets the first batch of Sorrento lemons, I am like a kid on Christmas morning. Aside from the obvious difference in size, this lemon has more bumpy skin, which contains more oils. So if you're using its zest or steeping it for something like limoncello, you're gonna get that much more flavor. Let's start making our limoncello. The first thing we need to do is peel these beautiful lemons. Grab your favorite peeler and just start peeling strips of the skin. Take your time. We don't want to leave any of the skin behind. We don't want to waste any of that flavorful skin. I wish you can smell how fragrant this is. It's amazing. Has a more sweet aroma than your traditional store-bought lemon. I'm making a huge batch of limoncello, so we're gonna need 8 of these lemons. If you're using regular organic lemons, you're going to need at least 12 of them. My hands are gonna smell so good by the time I'm done with this. My carpal tunnel, however, not so much. Last one. Awesome. Look how beautiful all these peels are. The next step is to peel off any excess pith. So I'm gonna go through all of these and make sure that there's nothing that has more pith than what I'm seeing on this lemon. Now for the fun part. Grab yourself a fairly large glass jar, at least 56 ounces if possible, and simply add your hard work right into the jar. All of these gorgeous Sorrento lemon peels. And now for another very important ingredient, high proof grain alcohol. This stuff is strong. It is extremely flammable. It's 190 proof. You cannot drink this as is. It will literally burn your insides. But it's that power that is going to help pull all the flavor, all of the oils out of these lemon peels. Madonna. Whew. Do not drink it. And I'm gonna add the whole 1 liter bottle right to our jar. Perfect. Now all that's left to do is wait. For me, it's more of a visual cue. I want the lemon peels to be pale, which means that all of the flavor, all of these oils have been sucked out of the peels. So around 1 to 2 weeks is probably best. Thankfully, I have a little trick up my sleeve. If you've been watching, you'd notice that we had this hiding in the corner the last few weeks, steeping just for today. And you can see the obvious difference. This is a deep golden yellow color. Isn't it beautiful? We have everything we need. I made some simple syrup earlier that we're going to add to our strained limoncello. Oh, did you hear that pop? It smells a little bit like cleaning supplies right now. Don't worry about that. We'll take care of it. Get yourself an even bigger glass jar. Just going to place a strainer on top of our new jar and carefully, to hopefully not lose any of this liquid gold, pour it. I didn't think this part through, did I? All right, we're just gonna go for it. Oh my God, how cool is that? That was easier than I thought it was gonna be. Now we're gonna pour our simple syrup right in. Look at how the color changes. It's this beautiful, sunshiny yellow color. At this point, it's almost done, but it's still way too strong to drink. So we have one last ingredient to add. Some cold water. This recipe makes a lot, so I hope you have a lot of friends. Just give it a little bit of a stir. Then it's just time to start bottling. Funnel will make this process a lot easier. Perfect. Just seal them up as you finish bottling them. Is that beautiful? I'd be very happy if someone brought me one of these bottles of Limoncello. You can find these glass bottles at some craft stores, but I normally find them at a store that sells containers. A little bit left, which I'll jar later, but that's for me. Gorgeous. I'm going to let these cure in the freezer for a week. The good news is they could live in there for a year, just in time for the next Sorrento lemon season.
Well, hello. Are you ready to whip up Anthony's delectable dish? Just text food to 34318 and we will send that recipe right to your phone.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
When I was interning in southern France, I learned how to make the best lemon curd I've ever had in my life. And thankfully, Chef Laurent was kind enough to share the recipe with me, and this is my version of it. The first thing we need to do is prepare our butter. This is one of those times when we want very cold butter. We don't want it room temperature. And I'm just gonna cut it into cubes. About a 1/2-inch cube would be perfect. Using 2 sticks, a full 1/2 pound of butter for this recipe. Definitely one of the reasons why this is so delicious. Set that aside. Let's start our curd. Now, I'm not one for really weird quantities in baking or cooking in general, but this recipe is so perfect that it does call for a weird amount of lemon juice. Exactly a 1/2 cup plus 4 teaspoons. It has to be that quantity, trust me. Don't round up, don't round down. Some sugar, 3/4 of a cup, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then some eggs. Three whole eggs and 1 yolk. This extra yolk is going to add a bit more decadence and richness. Okay, I'm gonna put this over medium heat. We don't wanna put it on top of an aggressive heat because we don't want scrambled eggs. Grab a whisk, start combining all of these ingredients. You wanna keep whisking over the medium heat until it starts to steam and you'll feel this mixture getting thick. Starting to see my first wisps of steam. And it's done, just like that. Immediately off the heat, grab a spatula, and through a fine mesh strainer into a food processor. Scrape it all down. Get every last bit of this curd in there. And then kind of in a back and forth stirry motion, start pushing your curd through the strainer. Put on your lid the right way. Turn your machine on, and then we're gonna start adding our butter, a cube at a time. And it looks great to me. I'm gonna transfer this to a bowl. Look how silky, how smooth, and how beautiful it is. And it is delicious too, I promise. And guarantee you that this lemon curd is life-changing. Into the fridge for 4 hours or overnight until it's nice and thick. Thankfully, I have one all ready to go. Here I have some phyllo dough shells that you can find in the frozen section of your grocery store. We're gonna fill them with this delicious curd. Let me show you how to set up a piping bag. Fold down the top. Then you wanna choose a tip. I'm going with a medium small round tip. Cut a hole for your tip and slide it in. Right side up, preferably. Then just push it forward and then pull to stretch out the plastic just a little bit. That'll lock it in place. And then simply just add this beautiful curd right into your bag. That'll be plenty for these tartlets. I'm gonna fill these with a slightly heaping mound of the curd, just like that. This smooth curd against this crispy phyllo shell is the perfect combination of textures. I'm gonna finish these off with a couple of things. First, a fresh raspberry for a little bit of color and just a sweet little pop of extra flavor. These are looking amazing already, but I have one more special touch to add to them. A little powdered sugar. It's pretty and adds just a kiss of extra sweetness. Just give it little gentle taps. A little bit of early morning snow. Aren't these just so adorable? They're delicious too, and I know my neighbors are gonna love them. So I'm gonna be a good boy, and I'm not going to touch them. No one said anything about the leftover curd, though.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement. Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
This is one of the moistest cakes you will ever have. Honestly, I would have a slice of this simple and elegant bundt cake over a layer cake any day of the week. You always want to start with your dry ingredients. 2.5 cups of flour, right into your bowl. Okay. Then we need some salt. You always need salt when baking. It helps bring out all the flavors of everything else that is in your batter. 1 teaspoon of that. I'm using 2 different leaveners, baking powder and baking soda. So just 1/2 teaspoon of the baking soda, and then 1.5 teaspoons of our baking powder. Okay. I'm whisking this really well to evenly distribute all of the leaveners. Perfect. Set this aside. And let's get started on our wet ingredients. First up, a stick of European or European-style butter right into the bowl of a stand mixer. Then some sugar. 1 3/4 cup of sugar. Just add that right on in. May sound like a lot, but this is not an overly sweet cake. The olive oil component of our cake, make sure you're using a floral olive oil. This is definitely not the time for a peppery olive oil. This is dessert. 1/4 cup of this liquid gold. Smells so good. Just gonna go right on in, get all of those last little drips. And some lemon zest. Using a Sorrento lemon here, so half of the zest of this lemon will be more than enough. Paddle attachment. And we want to beat this until it's super pale and nice and fluffy. You can see it lightening in color already. We can start adding our eggs. 3 large eggs. Scrape it down again. Make sure there are no bits of egg that were missed. At this point, we're also going to add a little bit of vanilla. I feel like every baked good needs just a little bit of vanilla. 1 teaspoon. We have our dry ready. We just need to finish our wet. I have a 1/4 cup of that delicious lemon juice from our Sorrento lemons. And to that, I'm going to add 3/4 cup of buttermilk. Give it a little bit of a swirl to incorporate. And now, let's finish it up. Start by adding half of your dry and slowly on low so it doesn't fly out at you. let it go, and as soon as it's almost fully incorporated, start drizzling in your buttermilk mixture. All that's left is our remaining dry ingredients. Once again, incorporate on low speed. And you want to stop the machine as soon as it looks like it's almost all incorporated. Right there. I'll finish the rest by hand. You never want to overmix a cake batter. It'll get really tough. I want to lick this, but I'm not. Just going to make sure that any bits of flour are fully incorporated at this point. This looks great. Let's get into our pan. It's a nice, thick, luxurious batter. You can see some of those specks of the lemon zest in here. It's going to be so delicious. Just gently start smoothing it. If you made a mess like I did, just carefully clean it up without ruining too much of your greased pan. One last thing that I like to do before I put it in the oven, a few taps on the countertop just to knock out any large air bubbles that may be in there. You want to bake this for 45 minutes at 350 degrees until a cake tester comes out clean when inserted in the center.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Let's go. This is a critical choke point for this fire. And good evening from New Orleans. Nice to really spend some time with you. Appreciate it.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Is this cake not stunning? You want to allow your cake to cool completely till it's cold to the touch, basically, at least room temperature, or your glaze will not set. So let's get started on it. 1.5 cups of confectioner's sugar. I'm putting it right into a fine mesh strainer because we want to sift out any lumps. We want a nice, smooth glaze. Then using a spoon or spatula, whatever you have, just start working it through the strainer. There you go. To this, we're gonna add just a few more ingredients. Some melted butter, 4 tablespoons, and then 2 tablespoons each of whole milk, and of course, our limoncello. Keep the milk on standby just in case you need to thin out your glaze. Just whisk, slowly pulling in all the sugar from the sides of the bowl. Oh no. I'm a mess. This glaze should be fairly thick, but still runny enough to drizzle down the side of our bundt cake. Okay, you want to use this quickly. Grab a spoon. Then work your way around your cake, allowing it to drizzle down the sides into the center and across the top. And there you have it, our beautiful lemon olive oil bundt cake with limoncello glaze. All of these lemony treats make a perfect gift, and I'm going to show you some fun ways that I like to package them when giving them to friends and neighbors. Let's start with our bundt cake. I'm going to carefully transfer it, looking for some naked cake space, right into the center of our charger. Don't forget about our gorgeous lemon curd tartlets. These could be a little tricky to transport, but I discovered a trick. I bought this cute little shallow tin at a craft store, and I'm gonna put in just a small layering of sprinkles. That's gonna help keep them in place. And of course, they match our little tartlets. Just kind of nestle them in. Don't overcrowd, but look how cute this looks. A lot of people are going to be begging me for this limoncello. Have a solution for that too. Have this cute lemon rubber stamp and some yellow ink. Just give it a little pat, and then with just any fine tip marker, grab some twine, string it through your little tag, and we'll tie it to the sides of our bottle. Aren't these so cute? And there you have it, 3 delicious and adorable gifts that I know my friends and family are just going to love. They also happen to make an excellent bribe.
We are getting ready to go, baby.
Heading to Japan.
Tokyo, here we come.
Good morning from Tokyo. Today's home away from home.
This is our Today Show Olympic workspace. Our writers, our producers, our crews. And good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Olympic headquarters overlooking the iconic Rainbow Bridge. We didn't pay the light bill, so they haven't turned the lights on yet. The Olympic rings aren't lit up yet, but guess what? I'm lit up. We're halfway through the first week of the Olympic Games, so we thought we'd give you, hey, look at that! Just like that! Bam! Oh, the power. We're going to give you an inside look behind the scenes from how we get our show on the air each day to how the athletes prepare for the biggest competition of their lives. We're going to introduce you to the teams working around the globe and around the clock, bringing you more than 7,000 hours of Olympic coverage all across NBC platforms, making the Tokyo Olympics the biggest media event of all time. This year, we all had one goal in mind, staying safe. Take a look at how we got here and how we're working to bring you the Olympics during this unprecedented time. Woo-hoo! Tokyo, here we come. Taking off for Tokyo, an event much anticipated by athletes, the audience, and even Today Show anchors.
Okay, heading to Japan. I'm dressed like the athletes. I'm going to be wearing all red, white, and blue.
It's not easy getting somewhere in the time of COVID. We've got all those safety precautions, and and this is no exception.
Well, we left Saturday at 1:30, and now it is 4:10 Tokyo time, and we are officially here. Let the games begin.
Tokyo, nearly 7,000 miles from New York City, and there are a lot of steps to go through before even getting on the ground.
I'm going to go find Craig, our executive producer Tom Mazzarelli, and start to make our way through customs and COVID protocol. There we go.
Testing at home, testing at the airport, checkpoints, lines, and more checkpoints.
Making our way in line. We've got our OCHA stuff, and now it's check out, I guess, more COVID stuff.
Almost there.
So close, so close.
Smooth sailing for Craig and our executive producer to get their COVID test results. Me, not so much.
So your testing numbers come up on this board. Craig's came up, Tom's came up about 10 minutes ago. I'm still waiting. We all went together. So this is the first hitch, at least for me. Oh well, so far. What are you gonna do?
And a negative test result is required to enter. And so I wait.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I've got to get another test, so boom. See you guys later.
Hopefully. Good luck now.
All right, we'll see you at the hotel.
We're with you.
But finally, after 4 hours at the airport,
well, made it. At the hotel in Tokyo, and it is gorgeous.
Where I still have to quarantine along with everybody else. For safety, we're broadcasting from our hotel, making it work and home all in one.
Good morning from Tokyo. Today's home away from home.
There are ways to make quarantine fun. For example, Savannah using the time to work out in her room because we can't go to the gym or even really outside. The only times we are allowed out is for a 15-minute-a-day walk. Walking, more walking. Though short, it is a chance to discover some treasures unique to Tokyo, like the endless vending machines. Japan has the most vending machines per capita, more than 4 million. Keir Simmons is out of quarantine and experiencing some more of what Japan has to offer.
Oh, my brother, when you get free from quarantine, you're literally going to be able to breathe again by visiting ancient forests like this one. One thing you should note, the bears roam free here too.
But we can't forget why we're really here, the games. And even though we've had to test and prepare for this, it's nothing compared to what these athletes have been working so hard for.
Go get it!
Hoda's spending the day cheering on the women's gymnastics team as they brought home the silver medal in the team competition.
Oh my God, look who's here. Wait, look.
Oh, just go.
Yes!
As the competition heats up in Tokyo, athletes swinging by our studio with their medals. And even though COVID has prevented the normal audiences from being in the stands, we all still cheer on our athletes and appreciate the hard work everyone's put in to making these games a reality.
We're just getting started. Stick around for more never before seen behind the scenes footage from here in Tokyo and how we actually get our broadcast on the air each morning. Plus later, Savannah will be joining us live. If the Today team had an Olympic sport, what would it be? Eating. That's right. We are world champion eaters.
Okay, if today had an Olympic sport, there's only one sport it could be. Okay, it takes precision, it takes brains, it takes finesse, and it takes drinking. Beer pong. Okay, beer pong. Can you picture Roker? He dominates beer pong.
Today's show team had an Olympic sport. I think it would be speed walking because we're always walking really fast from set to set, outside of the plaza, inside, up the stairs, down the stairs. That's really the only thing we're good at athletically.
If the Today team had an Olympic sport, it would probably be talking, just yapping. Because let's not kid ourselves, that's essentially what we do, right? And no one does it better than Hoda and Savannah Guthrie. And my God, Roker's been yapping nonstop for 40 years. So yeah, we take the gold and just run in our mouths.
And welcome back. We're here live in Tokyo. I'm here with my friend Bob. We're giving you a behind-the-scenes look at how everyone here at NBC works to bring the Olympic Games to you at home. So how does the show get on the air? That's what I was wondering, Bob. Take a look. This is what you see at home.
Welcome to Today and welcome to Tokyo. It is great to have you with us on this Monday morning.
Sweeping views of Tokyo Bay. State-of-the-art Olympic venues.
We got ushered off to the bus and then onto the village.
Gold medal hopefuls roaming the athletes' village.
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go. Let's go. This is a critical choke point for this fire. And good evening from New Orleans. Nice to really spend some time with you. Appreciate it. Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I can track this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
To go back to the village, I was exhausted.
But what you don't see is our village.
Look at this. Wow.
Meet the Today Show team responsible for producing a one-of-a-kind morning show in a one-of-a-kind year.
In COVID times here in Tokyo, we have to be really careful about how and when we shoot. We have special permission to shoot today at Skytree, but we had to come in before the general public came in.
And can you tell we're just a little bit excited to be here? This is our Today Show workspace. We've got writers and producers all gathering everything that you see in the morning. It's sent to New York, cut together, and put together in snippy little packages for your consumption. The biggest adjustment? The 13-hour time difference.
Here in New York, we have shifted our schedule so we start later at night to match our team in Tokyo's hours. That way, when they send back video, we can grab it and put it into our stories for the morning.
It is 1:45 right now. We still have a few more hours before air, luckily, so we have more time to put it together, but hope you guys are doing well.
A few hours before we hit the airwaves.
Can I get revised questions for some?
Good morning, everybody. Hello, Team Tokyo. Maz, how we doing?
We have our morning rundown meeting.
The rundown is sort of the Bible of the show. It's the chapter and verse for what we're doing from top to bottom. It's the order, it's who's doing what, when they're doing it, and where they're doing it. And hopefully we stick to it, but a lot of times it changes all the way through the end of the show.
So, Maz, can you walk us through the first half hour?
Guys, I got a rundown.
You need a pronouncer? You need a pro now?
After the rundown meeting, it's a complicated ballet between the Tokyo team and our New York control room.
The biggest challenge is just the communication amongst everybody. You have producers over in Tokyo shooting stories. They're talking to producers back in New York who are editing them. They have to be on the same page. As far as the control room, it's here in New York. All the talent, the cameras, stage manager, they're in Tokyo. The stage manager acts more as a director for me since I can't be there. It's just a lot of coordination, a lot of communication to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Once we get closer to that 7 a.m. start time, it's all hands on set.
Hi.
Over here, we've got our actual set. So you can see this is where it all happens, right here. There's our set. There's our stage manager, Joseph. It's all happening right here for today, behind the scenes.
In 5, 4, 3.
But even across 13 time zones and nearly 7,000 miles, our village comes together to wake you up with those same familiar smiles.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Today. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday morning.
So we're joined now by our executive producer, Tom Mazzarelli, better known as Maz. Maz, good to see you.
Hello, Al. How are you?
I'm looking at you on camera. I didn't realize what a handsome man you are.
It's just stop lying. Stop lying.
All right, so let's talk about some of the big moments so far. 17-year-old swimmer Lydia Jacoby winning the gold.
Yep.
Shocks the Nation shows up on set for interviews. So how does this happen? How does she get from winning that medal to getting here on the Today Show?
Well, it's funny. I'm going to back you up even a little bit more. A couple weeks ago, Chanel did a profile of the teen swimmers on Team USA.
Right.
And there were like 10 or 11 of them. I think she did them. They were in Hawaii training. And I remember she did the piece, and one of the things that stuck out was this Lydia girl saying, I've never been able to swim in an Olympic-sized pool before. Where she lives in Alaska, it was not that size. And I'm like, how is that even possible? She made the team. She must be amazing. Cut to, 3 or 4 days ago, this girl wins it. And everyone's like, I remember thinking, that's the girl without the pool up in Alaska.
Oh.
So we say, we got to get her on. And there's this whole thing called managing victory, right? It's this whole system that we sort of NBC and the Olympics teams have set where they sort of go right from the pool to the mix zone, which is where they do the interviews right afterwards. And then they start their interview process. And we are usually first. And it sort of works with the clock that way. So we then end up getting her here. You've got to clear all the COVID protocols, right? You got to make sure that she's not sort of swimming again the next day and all these other things. And, lo and behold, bang, she's here.
There
And
she
it was
is.
fantastic.
In fact, our viewers have been asking questions. We got Debbie on Instagram asking, how are you managing being on the air late at night when this is actually past our bedtimes?
I kind of like it.
Yeah?
You like it?
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah. It really is.
It's, for the most part, I mean, I like getting up in the morning and sort of I'm just so used to it, as are you. I do like the idea of having the whole day to plan.
Sure.
Like, I'd say I'd rather have we're on locally here at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
I'd say like a 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock would be perfect.
You can plan all you want, but this is, we shine when there's breaking news. Yeah. Take me behind the scenes when Simone Biles, drops out.
Yeah. Controlled chaos, controlled chaos that was that show.
Exactly.
Well, one of the things that we going into these games, we knew that there would be events taking place live on our air, which is rare. That doesn't usually happen.
Right.
And it would be going through the 9:30 hour. And so we're like, okay, this is good. We're going to lean into this. Little did we know that this major news would happen. I think it happened at like 7:18 in the morning. So we just scrapped the rundown, changed everything happening at 7:30, and slowly but surely we were learning information about Simone. It was an injury, and then it was not an injury, then it would involve some sort of focus or mental health issue, and then all these things were playing out, and then they competed.
Right.
The Russians win, we win the silver. Then she speaks to Hoda after. That all happened within like a 90-minute window.
Wow. And then we had to update for our West Coast affiliates and all that.
We were on them like midnight.
Yeah. The other big breaking news is that we now have a mascot, the Today Show mascot.
We've been waiting a very long time. I think there was J. Fred Muggs, and now there's been a 60-year window that we need to fill.
And so we've got our mascot head here, but you can see there's the mascot. We haven't named her yet, but this is the person behind the mascot, inside the mascot, I should say. Well, Phoebe Weiner, good to see you.
Good to see you, Al.
So how did you end up inside the costume?
So a couple weeks before I left, Evan Klupt, the director of production management started CCing me on these emails saying, I'm so sorry, ... And there were some, markups of what the costume would look like, and I didn't really understand. And then slowly but surely, it became very clear that I would be wearing this when I got to Tokyo.
And what amazes me is your mom called you after seeing the mascot and said, was that you in the mascot?
Yes, I was a little bit embarrassed, and I didn't really want to tell people that it was me, but I think they kind of figured it out.
Well, I think I speak for Maz.
Thank you. Can I just interrupt for a second and just say, Phoebe is an incredibly cultured Japanese scholar.
That's right. A Fulbright scholar.
Fulbright scholar. Speaks Japanese, fluent. We brought her here for that. Bonus is she's a fantastic mascot.
That's right. And just remember the name, Phoebe Weiner. She'll be running NBC News in about, 5 years.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm already packing my office, by the way.
There you go. That's why we're all being nice to Phoebe.
Yes.
She's going to be our boss. Phoebe, thanks so much. Maz, thank you,
Thanks,
bud.
Al.
When we come back, a look at how the athletes prepare to compete. Plus, Savannah Guthrie joining us live. Don't go away. What do I eat for breakfast? Here, I'm waking up at the same time, and so I'm having my usual breakfast of champions. Little tiny chocolate donuts.
For breakfast, since I was a walking zombie, I grabbed whatever was closest at the buffet. So I think it was an omelet. I think I had bacon and some form of potatoes.
Well, breakfast was dinner, so I ate a full-on honkin' plate. I had eggs, salmon, toast. I ate with roast.
What color were your eggs?
Orange.
What color are they?
Yes. It's like they're like red. The eggs are funky.
They taste good, but they're orange.
And how was what'd you do for
Well, I
breakfast
didn't
today?
eat breakfast. I don't usually, so then I had a Luna bar because we went over to swimming.
I know. I'm still getting adjusted, so I'm not a breakfast person usually, but today I was.
Welcome back to today's Olympic headquarters in Tokyo. We're pulling back the curtain, giving you an exclusive look at the Tokyo Games. And now it's time to see what goes on behind the scenes as the world's greatest athletes prepare to compete.
Kalish is going to win gold for the United States, and Litherland is trying to make it a 1-2 finish for the Americans.
Before the medals, the events,
and that will get through. And here comes McClenny to try and win it, and the United States walks it off.
and the COVID testing.
A few items that are essential to our living here in the village. Every day we spit into one of these.
All 600 plus athletes had to get to Tokyo.
It's time for Tokyo. Let's get after it.
The journey full of airport shenanigans, including the U.S. women's volleyball team giving their own That's So Raven impressions. But finally, all the athletes making it and ready for the next stop, Olympic Village. U.S. Olympian April Ross speaking to Savannah, giving her the inside scoop on living in the village.
Tell me about your movements, what you're able to do, what you're able to see.
It feels pretty normal. We're allowed to go to the cafeteria whenever we want. We wear gloves. We use a lot of hand sanitizer all the time. We can take buses out to the high performance center, to the venue, and it's pretty free flowing. You know, there's lots of guidelines, but to be honest, it feels decently normal here in the village.
U.S. rower Michelle Schexer echoing April's sentiments.
I do feel very comfortable here. It's unfortunate, I think, that it is, receiving some of the negative press that it is, but honestly, in the village, I feel safer there than I have in any city in the States in the past 18 months.
But there is one thing we keep hearing about.
So I've been getting this question over and over again.
I've been getting this question a lot.
So let's dive into it.
Those cardboard beds.
Okay, so it is cardboard.
Even under here, everything is cardboard, so you might think they're not very sturdy. Let's test it out.
Hey, oh, she's sneezing. So peaceful. Probably the only one who could sleep on the bed.
U.S. men's volleyball player Eric Shoji showed TikTok a full tour of his dorm room.
Let's go. We have a fridge, a microwave, some coffee. Oh my gosh, our trash. This is our little living room. Kind of small. And the best part is our balcony view.
And Grace Luzak from U.S. Rowing, giving her own behind-the-scenes tour.
No Japan tour would be complete without the super tech-savvy toilet.
And yes, laundry still has to get done, even in the Olympic Village.
Yeah, what's happening is I'm doing about 10 people's laundry.
The women's gymnastic team choosing not to stay in the village after an alternate member on the team tested positive, but had some fun of their own in a hotel nearby. And we can't forget about the food. Japan is known for their cuisine, and these athletes are digging in.
Welcome to dinner.
In the Olympic Village, there are 2 dining halls. There's the main dining hall, and then there's the casual dining hall, which is all Japanese food. So Keegan and I are checking out tonight. Let's see what we got. First up, salmon salad. Yeah. Teriyaki beef, rice ball / musubi. And this is okonomiyaki. It's like a savory Japanese pancake. This food is so good.
Of course, they are also here to compete. But as they wait for their moment, several attempted the latest viral TikTok challenge. Oreos pass the Oreo. Team USA making the most.
This is a critical choke point for this fire. And good evening from New Orleans. Nice to really spend some time with you. Appreciate
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
A lifetime experience on and off the field.
Go Team USA. Go USA.
And taking us along for the ride every step of the way.
Love seeing all those athletes behind the scenes.
Fun.
Oh, well, of course, you know this nice lady, Savannah Guthrie, helping us with our behind-the-scenes special.
I love this show.
Yeah, it's it's like today at night, kind of. Like,
today after dark.
Oh yeah,
it's getting dangerous.
Well, speaking of that, what do you think about doing the show when it's like dark, pitch dark out?
I like it. I mean, we're morning people,
sure.
But this is fun. I could get used to this. You sleep in, you take a little nap in the afternoon. It's good. I like it. Do you like it?
I do, although, it's still, every now and then I kind of like, okay, wait, what time is it?
Yeah, I mean, I like our hours, but but this is a nice change.
This is all right. Maybe we'll keep this up when we get back. What's been your favorite moment so far?
I loved doing the opening ceremony. I still loved when the drones were up in the air.
By the way, you and Mike Tirico were amazing.
We had so much fun, and I had never done it before, so that was really cool. When they put the drones up in the air, and it was like, I've never seen anything like that in my life. I'm not sure that anything's been done like that. 1,800 drones, and it looked
Never
like
been done
planet
before.
Earth.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was truly beautiful.
One of the things I find kind of interesting is how this dance that goes on. But again, even here with the Olympics, we had that breaking news with the Simone Biles.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that? Because you and Hoda, I mean, Hoda was at the gymnastics center, but you were here kind of honchoing this thing. What was that like?
It was crazy because we kind of just shifted into breaking news mode, but it was about the Olympics. It was literally the last thing anyone would have expected, and right away, I mean, luckily we have, we have the best team in the business.
We do.
They kind of blew up the whole rundown that was planned and started booking live guests. I think we woke up Mike Tirico in the middle of the night.
He said he had just poured some bourbon. He was about to come down.
Well, he seemed totally sober.
I know.
I don't think he had drank. Yeah, I don't think he had had any yet.
He didn't have it.
And he's such a good sport. He came down. We're in the hotel. Our set is right at the hotel, so he's probably up in his room. He came down. We started getting the gymnastics analysts on, and it was all unfolding on our air. And Hoda was there,
right?
So she was watching what was happening. And at first we didn't know, was it a physical injury? Then we learned it had to do something with her mental health. And so it was just, we kind of shifted into that mode. And, it's pretty extraordinary. And I'm so proud of the other athletes who really stepped up and rose to the occasion. They're incredible.
What is it, when we come to the Olympics, it's a whole different thing because we get to spend time together that we don't normally. Because look, let's face it, we've got families and all that, but here it's such unadulterated us time.
It's fun. It's like camp. It's like Today's Show camp, and it's really special. And we, it's true because when we're back home, we have our families, we've got kids at school and all that stuff. Here, we get to have our meals together. We go on these little adventures together. And even with the pandemic, we've gone on the bus tour. We had Japanese lunch today, which will be on the show this morning. And it's fun, It's just different kind of time, and not just those of us that you see on camera, but all of our producers
all of our crews and everybody else. Well, look, I know you've got, we're on the air live in 30 seconds.
I know.
30 minutes.
It's 30 seconds. Oh, my God, I gotta go.
30 minutes.
Yeah,
so you got homework to do.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for joining us for a behind-the-scenes look today at the Olympic Games. Stay tuned to Today All Day throughout the day. More interviews with all your favorite Olympians. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This is a critical choke point for this fire. And good evening from New Orleans. Nice to really spend some time with you. Appreciate it.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes, this is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day. Let's change the world. Love it!
Good morning, everybody. We have turned our plaza into Olympic Plaza, and why not? Take a look at this, a fully vaccinated and fully fired up crowd. This is going to be the center of the action because a lot of the athletes returning home are going to stop here first. We've got swimming royalty right here.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today All Day and a look behind the scenes of today's special Olympic broadcast. I'm back from Tokyo. We're on our Olympic Plaza just outside Studio 1A in New York City. Our crowd is already starting to pour in to Olympic Plaza. Our fully vaccinated crowd, they're all looking good because they're fully vaccinated. Over the next half hour, I'm going to give you an inside look at how these special broadcasts have come together outdoors on our Olympic Plaza. Now, you think the party has been in Japan for the past 2 weeks, but every day we've invited these nice people. We like you. They've been cheering us on and cheering on Team USA. Here's an inside look at how our team here in the Big Apple turned this plaza into our own Olympic village.
He's going to win gold up there in lane 5. He did it!
While the adrenaline is still rushing through Tokyo, today's Olympic Plaza may be just as exciting. 13 time zones, and 7,000 miles away. We have all the action, athletes, and me back here in New York. During our outdoor broadcasts on our Today Plaza. The set took 2 weeks to design, another 2 weeks to build, with crews working throughout the night. This iconic arch, inspired by Chidori, Japanese architecture, all with the goal welcoming fans to the plaza.
The design ties into all of our sets that are over in Tokyo and Connecticut, really tying everything together for the viewer.
Our fully vaccinated fans arriving at the crack of dawn, ready to be part
Tucson, Arizona
of the Today Show. And for this couple, our plaza is really the next best thing to being there.
Caleb's going to be here today.
Charles and Susie spent 2 years planning to go to the games, but then the pandemic.
We have everything. We have airline ticket, hotel.
I want to say thank you on behalf of the show and NBC for writing to us, for setting your alarm early, for bringing your vaccination cards, your photo ID, your great posters, your beads, like we are your Statue of Liberty foam hats.
Our plaza producer, Kevin Chattel, is the first to meet everybody.
We're excited to be here. I have always wanted to do this since I was a little girl. And so now I'm 40 and we're here.
The fans arrive on 48th Street right here in Rockefeller Center at 6 a.m. They come decked out. People line up as early as 5:30. They come on, go through security, get a good spot, and right away we start getting them on TV.
Dallas, are you ready?
Yes.
Right at the camera, you know your lines.
We record all of that before the show starts that we include in our 8 o'clock open a bit later in the show.
Greenville, South Carolina.
Tampa, Florida.
Oklahoma City.
This right here is the happiest place in New York City. People are out here to celebrate, to have a good time, honor their milestones.
We got the gold.
We got the gold, yeah.
Every single day is a dose of joy, of excitement. There's never a dull moment.
Our anchors get ready, then it's showtime.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I'm Zach Schiffman, and I'm one of the stage managers on the Today Show.
During our broadcast, stage manager Zach keeping the talent on track and the guests in place, all with multiple people talking in his ear.
I'm in constant communication with the director and the assistant director. Under a minute, come on over. So I get in around 5 in the morning, and the first thing we do is we call into the daily rundown meeting where we learn about what's on the show today, what changes have happened overnight, and then we start our pre-planning process. 15 seconds. The best part about my job is that every day is different here.
USA! USA! And just like that, from pool to plaza, Caleb Dressel wowing the crowd with his 5 gold medals.
It is pretty crazy though. Like I've grown up seeing this on the TV, and so to be on the other side and like all these fans out here are incredible.
And that's a wrap for today behind the scenes on Olympic Plaza. And we're now joined by my pal, Chanel Jones.
How
Good
are
to
you?
see you. So you and Jenna Bush Hager last week
Yes.
are holding down the fort here while we were all in Tokyo. What was it like here on the plaza?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have to tell you, honestly, it exceeded expectations. We didn't really know what to expect. It was honestly the first time we've really been out with a crowd again.
Right.
And what we found, people are longing to be back together again and to connect. And I was fascinated by the amount of people from all over the country, from Utah to Des Moines to Florida. I mean, everybody was here having a good time. We had the games on behind us.
Right.
I mean, it was electric.
On the big board. So far for you, what's been your favorite moment of the Olympics?
Oh my gosh, having Caleb Dressel, was that just a couple of days ago? Olympic swimmer here on the set. And honestly, just the fun we've had with the crowd.
Right.
Jenna and I have played wacky games. There are a lot of things that you guys don't see at home behind the scenes during the commercial breaks, taking selfies and talking to folks. It's just been really fun.
And of course, we've got the U.S. gymnasts coming in today, the women's gymnastics team.
Even I'm a little jittery. I'm excited.
Is that who you're looking forward to here on the plaza?
Everybody wants to see Simone and Suni Lee and all of these girls. I mean, they were able to meet the moment. So we want to salute them.
Absolutely. Now, in our last behind-the-scenes special, we all answered the question, if we had a team sport, Olympic sport, what would it be?
Okay, so is this
I said eating,
what'd you say?
Talking. Savannah said walking. Hoda said beer pong. What would your Olympic sport be?
I want to learn how to surf.
Really?
Yes. I've never tried it. I've never even touched a board, but I want to learn how. Can we make that happen?
I'm going to make this happen.
No, I really want to learn.
No, let's do it.
But I have no concept how. I've never skateboarded. Like, I have no concept.
So we're going to make this happen.
All
We
right.
really are.
We'll see what
In
happens.
our last special, we answered viewers' questions.
Okay.
They came up, and we've got a viewer question. Let's roll the prompter to that viewer question. That would be very helpful. Okay, I guess we don't have the viewer question.
Oh, darn.
So doggone it.
Darn.
You did your Through Mom's Eyes.
Yes.
You've got that great series that
Yes.
we do on the third hour, and you did an Olympic version of it.
You know what? Noah Lyles, one of the Olympians who we'll actually be talking with a little later today. We talked to archery mom, one of the youngest swimmers. She's 15 years old. Her name is Katie. Her mom. It was so fascinating to watch these moms when the cameras weren't rolling, swapping phone numbers so that they can meet up again and bond, because they're in a special club when you're the mother or a parent of an Olympian.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we are just
You can
getting
check that out on the site as well.
And I appreciate you coming in 3 hours early.
So what am I going to do for the next 3 hours now?
Well, I can give you one more thing. Could you help us bring Hinode in?
Come here. Hinode means sunrise, our new mascot, my fellow petite buddy. What's up, Hinode?
That's right. You are the same size as Hinode.
We are the same
I love
size.
it. I love it. In fact, we're going to have Hoda coming in just a little bit. But Hinode had to get here, which is amazing. And so let's take a look at Hinode's journey home.
We were inspired by Japan's love of mascots, so we decided, why not? Let's get one of our own.
I see some picture of the TV studio, and there are very beautiful sets.
All right, now to the big moment. Without further ado, our Today Show mascot is...
One of our brilliant producers here is playing the role.
I was a little bit embarrassed, and I didn't really want to tell people that it was me.
Phoebe is an incredibly cultured Japanese scholar. Bonus is she's a fantastic mascot.
That's right. You're going to pick the name.
That's right. A battle at the top between Hinode, which means sunrise, and Kiyokuma, which means today bear.
We're bringing her home.
Here it is, safe and sound.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Hinode! Nice to meet you.
Hinode.
Isn't she the cutest? It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like, really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Let's go. This is a critical choke point for this fire. And good evening from New Orleans. Nice to really spend some time with you. Appreciate
it. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Are you ready?
We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes, this is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day. Let's change the world. Love it!
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I can track this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
Welcome back. We are here on Olympic Plaza. Our crew is getting this. This is going to be a segment on later. Whoa, they ran like, boy, they just got out of here. Anyway, we're going to be doing a food segment with Candace Kamai here in a little bit. We're giving you a behind-the-scenes look at how the shows are broadcast here on our Olympic Plaza. So if you watched the Today Show, you know in Tokyo, Hoda became America's superfan. In fact, she was the unofficial team mom for Team USA's gymnasts. And nobody could cheer more than our own Hoda Kotb. Check it out.
Gymnastics venue. Hello. I'm sanitizing. I'm taking my temp. We're about to see gymnastics. Did I pass? Yes. Yes. Yay! Okay, that's the gymnastics venue right there. We're going to go inside and see if Team USA is going to get a medal. Feeling good. Feeling good. Like I should. We're here. Come, let me show you. This is where we walked. Come. These are our lucky seats. This is my lucky seat. And usually, the gymnastics team is sitting right across from us. We may be a little early. I don't see them yet. Might be a teeny bit early, but we like to be here early because we like to be ready, okay? We like to get ready and get the good luck charms going. We're trying to make it back for the show because Jade just won a gold medal. We're gonna try to get some here and make it get on the air. Do you think we can make it?
Put it in my daughter's dress. She put it in my luggage for good luck. So I took it to the meet and I just started twirling it around and it gave me good luck for all of you.
All right, we're back live, ladies and gentlemen. Hoda, 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 Hoda. How are you, baby? Oh.
Hi, how are you?
Oh my gosh, you flew.
This rocks, man.
Is this good?
I'm like shocked.
This is your first look at the plaza.
I know, you guys, this is awesome. Hi, you guys.
So,
yeah.
So first of all, how are you feeling? I know with the flight, you've landed yesterday.
I landed yesterday. By the way, on my flight, as I'm getting my bag and getting on there, I see Simone. Simone Biles was on my flight. I see Grace, I see Suni, I see Jade, I see Jordan. Like the whole crew was on our flight. They were adorable. They're like little girls with huge bags getting on the flight. It was amazing. It was really fun.
So how'd you sleep last night?
You know what? I couldn't get it. Could you get it when you first landed?
Yeah, but it was different because you had the kid, you Haley and Hope. And
Yeah.
I didn't have anybody at home.
By the way, I had a ticker tape parade. It was like a mini ticker tape parade with these two kids. It was amazing to come home, and it's great. Like we go on these long trips, we miss our kids, but it was so fun to come home last night out.
One of the best moments of the Olympics was the fact that Haley had packed a dress in your suitcase.
By the way, I took it everywhere with me.
I know.
Haley kept seeing the dress. She was like, that's my dress. That's my dress.
Mm-hmm.
And she was asking about if Simone got to see it. Did Simone see her dress?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, she did.
What were they like when you got home?
It was beautiful. I mean, you know what's funny? When you go on a trip that is as satisfying as being able to witness like what we saw at the Olympics, like I loved every second there, but I'm trying to do this thing where I'm doing a be here now,
right.
Like wherever I am. Like I'm at the Olympics, I want to be at the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to my kids, but I don't want to spend my whole time thinking, where are my kids?
Right.
And when I was with my kids, I was 100% with them when I got home. They had 2 chairs, Al, pulled up to the front door. They were waiting when I got there. It was the cutest, sweetest. I just hung on last night. I just hung on tight last night.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So we've covered a number of these games. How was Tokyo different for you than others?
It was probably the one I underestimated the most because I thought when we got there, it probably wasn't going to be much access. I said it's going to be great, but it's not going to have all the things we're used to.
Right.
Al, it was like home run after home run. I mean, I think, like, you know, you're always so proud of your country, but there was something about this Olympics, this time around, what these guys had been through. Like, I felt like my heart swelled like 10 times its size, watching our gymnasts, our hockey players, everybody do their thing. I don't know, I felt, I was just surprised at how much these kids could overcome. And I thought about the mental health piece, which is bigger this time than any other time.
Huge.
But I was also thinking, like, these kids are never at home. They don't have any loved one with them. So it's like the most stressful time of their lives, probably. Where's their mom? Not there. Where's their dad? Not there. Where's their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their husband, their wife? They're not there with them. So I feel like that piece of it brought all that stuff to the forefront. So all of a sudden, they felt really super vulnerable. But I gotta say, talk about rising up, man. I can picture Simone walking out on that final day. The beam is not her favorite. It's the one she got the bronze in Rio. She walks out, and I looked at her face, and my heart was like, it's like boom, 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 boom. Like, how's she gonna do? And you watched her just like get the eye of the tiger and nail it. Nail it. It was nuts.
And yeah, look, you became the unofficial team mom for the U.S. women's gymnastics team. I mean, you know, they were looking at you. It has to feel kind of good.
Well, I was looking at them. I really was. I was looking at them because Al, think in my life, I feel like I have a role that I have always played. And that's like, instead of being the person being cheered, I like being the cheerleader. Like, that's my favorite role in life. It always has been. But I think, like, when I was in high school, I was the one who was yelling I would always be that loudest one. Like, the one, they're like, what is she doing? But I feel like in this moment, they always look to their moms and dads. They always looked for somebody. And imagine you're in an empty stadium having the moment of your life and you can hear a pin drop. Nobody's there. Now, look, I almost got in trouble while I was there about 10 times.
Yeah, you were, because we weren't supposed to be touching the athletes. And, you know, you get a hug from Simone, and then Suni Lee says, "Can you give me a hug?"
Yes.
I mean, you're being asked to give a hug. How do you say no to that?
Well, I knew it got bad because the IOC people weren't fond of it. Wait, Al, I was at the gymnastics on the last day, and I see our security guard. I go, "Oh, hey, are you here to watch this?" He says, "No, I'm here to watch you." I go, "What?" No, Al. I was one day away from being bounced.
You were
one day.
Three strikes and you're out.
I was so close.
So we put out a call to social media, and we want folks to ask questions. So this is from a viewer on Instagram. How many suitcases of your own did you?
One. Only one.
Only one.
I only bring one. No,
only one.
I underpack. All I did was wear the USA gear. I didn't even wear anything that I brought, but I always just do one. I'm a light packer.
East Coast, when you were there in Tokyo, did you try to stay on East Coast or were you on Tokyo time?
I was on, by the way, I was on both times because I ended up waking up at 4 because, you know, the sun rose at 4 in Tokyo, which was the
land
weirdest.
of the rising sun.
Right. So I woke up at 4, FaceTimed the kids, did a little workout, went for breakfast at 6. And then you realize our show's on in the evening time, so you're trying to pull it through. I just went on fumes. I didn't care. I knew I was going to be home soon.
Here's the. I don't think people realize you could have been an Olympian in that you were part of. What was your sport? You did shot put, didn't you?
You know what?
Didn't you do shot put and discus?
My coach was like, in high school, they're like, "Who's the biggest one?" You. Come here. We want you to try it. So I still remember. Because throwing the discus and the shot put was fun, but it can get really bad, really bad. I remember I was at a meet, Al. It was like a big meet, and the way it works when you're throwing discus is they call the worst person first with the lowest score. Then it goes down, and my only wish on these things is like, "Don't call me first, please God, don't call me first, don't call me first." So the announcer goes, "Marcia Green" or something, and I go, "Oh, thank God, Marcia Green."
Got from Marcia Green.
And the Marcia's not here. Okay, let's go to the next person on the list. Hobo, Haboko, Kabobi, Bobbie. I was like, so I get in the ring. This is how you do it. Like, I'm throwing this way, you go like this. You spin, throw like that. That's the move. That's the move.
Is that the move?
So
that's the move, ladies and gentlemen.
Al, 3 times, because there's a gate that goes around. It was like one was there, and one like wafted out. It was like the pits, man. But
be thankful she doesn't have a discus over there.
You're
okay?
welcome.
Homocomo, ladies and gentlemen.
It's over.
It's over. It's over. When we come back, we're going to pull back the curtain, show you what it feels like to be a guest on today. Silver medalist Michaela Skinner, Krista Palmer. That's right. Take us on a ride from atop the podium to meet Hoda on the Today Show set. But first, one of the biggest questions you asked on social media: what did we eat in Tokyo? So here's a behind-the-scenes look at some of the food.
What did we eat?
Well, take a look. Here it is.
Drink?
Just oh yeah, we drank.
Oh, Krispy Kreme.
Get out of here. We got a Krispy Kreme.
Are you kidding
me? There was nothing like the food.
Try the tempura.
From coffee jelly
I'll be there in a minute. I'm still chewing my coffee.
to mochi.
Delicious.
And maybe just a little bit too much sake.
We should toast.
Carry your drink.
Have you been hitting this early?
To Tokyo.
We gave everything a try.
This is yakisoba pan. It's noodles in a hot dog bun.
Natto.
Natto.
Kind of a cross between beans and a Rice Krispies treat.
Okay.
Even when things got a little sticky.
This is actually stuck to my hand now. Like, I can't. I'm gonna sleep with it.
We weren't complaining, and we couldn't stop eating.
What's your technique?
Just like this. I'll show you. Oh my God. Just hold it up high. Come on, let's see it. Al, lift it. Oh, that's how you do it. Oh, that looked much easier.
Al's a classy guy.
I know. I need a bib.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Are you ready?
We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like, really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here on Olympic Plaza, New York City, along with our mascot, Hinode. Little known fact about Hinode, she actually also edits videotape, even with those little hands. It's very interesting. But nice to see her. She's very talented. One of the reasons we all were in Tokyo to bring you live in-person interviews with the biggest and the best athletes moments after they compete. From the podium to our set, take a look behind the scenes at how they got to us every morning.
Hello Today Show followers, my name is Lucy and I'm about to take you behind the scenes of when an athlete arrives at the set for the Today Show. Every second of the arrival has been perfectly choreographed, and today a behind the scene look at when US gymnast Michaela Skinner joined today just hours after she won her silver medal on vault, and US diver Krista Palmer joined just a few hours after she won bronze. The Today Show team in Tokyo is made up of 60 people, and it takes 12 of those people to get each Olympian from the podium to our set. It's about an hour before Michaela Skinner joins us on the Today Show when she is met by runner Desmond They come through this entrance here. It's for athletes only. We're very strict on our COVID regulations here, of course. Michaela, you've just arrived to come onto the Today Show to show off that beautiful medal. Let's get you in the lift and get you up to the set. Alrighty. You never know who is going to walk through these doors flashing their medal. Here comes Alex Mazialis from the men's foil fencing team. Congratulations. And up they go, up to the Today Show set where they are met with Hoda and Craig. Up you go. Ready for the Today Show. We're joined by Krista, who's just won bronze in diving. And we're about to walk her to the Today Show. So are you stoked about becoming on the Today Show?
I am so excited. This has been like surreal for me, this whole experience, and I'm just looking forward to it.
Backstage, we have 5 makeshift green rooms for guests. In the green room, they take time out and get mic'd up for their interviews. And of course, we offer a wide range of snacks for our Olympians, including sushi rolls, baklava, pizza, udon noodles, and the all-time favourite, mac and cheese.
Okay, I gotta hit the sushi first, that's for sure.
And before they go live, a little fun in our Instagram booth set. Then it's showtime! Michaela waits for the cue that she's live from our stage manager, Yosef. Athletes must be separated. All of the Today Show staff stay 6 feet away from all the athletes at all times. Athletes must remain masked until the moment they go on air. But first, a quick tease to let the audience know Michaela's coming up right after the commercial break. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How are you?
I'm so good.
Okay.
Wow, that's amazing to see. I didn't even know all that was going on. Well, Hoda, did you have a good time today? Thank you. You're very nice. We love our little Hoda. And thank you for joining us for a behind-the-scenes look at today at the Olympic Games. I hope you'll stay tuned all day, today all day, throughout the day, for more interviews with all of your favorite Olympians. For all of us here at the Today Show, welcome to another, thank you for joining us at another edition of Today Behind the Scenes. Say goodbye.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
I saw for the first time how there was no power, no agency inside of healthcare and its delivery in this country. That regardless whether you are covered, insured, financially stable or not, regardless, across all races, across all ethnicities, you have no power. I personally suffered at the hand of a system such as this. My name is Jenny Joseph, and I'm a midwife. I was 30. I came to Florida. Within a year of being in the United States, I was newly married and trying to find my way. I was working with an obstetrician, and for my whole adult life at that time, I'd had endometriosis, which is not life-threatening, but certainly miserable. And the physician I worked with started talking to me about certain types of surgeries that he could do. So I spent a full year, really, about 4 different surgeries with him. No real results, except for I felt worse, more pain, etc. Finally went for another opinion, and the other physician said, no, the only answer we have for you is we need to remove your uterus, hysterectomy. I was ready, so I said yes. I didn't ask the right questions. I came out of that surgery not only minus my uterus, but minus my ovaries at 30 years old. And that was one of the most horrific awakenings. This was my sort of welcome to America, and I was very overwhelmed by it. And I really I had a sense of such powerlessness around it. My husband was furious. It impacted our lives in a way that I can't describe. Luckily, I already had a child, but obviously that was it for me. And him, it was done. I couldn't just accept it. I couldn't accept it. It got me up on my feet, and I said, all right, watch me. I'm gonna fix this mess. And I wanted to fix it for myself, but I also felt like a drive to stand for women and literally stand in that gap and say, no, hang on, this isn't right. The vehicle I used was midwifery because I was already there. I was already a midwife. It's gonna be 40 years that I've been doing this work. I feel strongly about how we are, as women, treated in a system where we don't know what to ask. We haven't got a voice. We're not heard. Black women especially are not heard. Native women, Hispanic women, Latinas, any woman who is other is not heard. There's been a lot more talk about maternal mortality recently in the United States. I'm here to say that this is not a new crisis. This has been here. It's just never been really taken care of. Maternal mortality is the death of a woman during pregnancy, labor and delivery, or postpartum. Statistically, it seems to fall around 3 to 4 times as many Black women, African American women, are dying in comparison to white women. This is being called this new crisis because now we're talking about it. I am so excited about this panel. It is timely. It is like I see the critical mass beginning around maternal health and maternal mortality issues. So I feel like I can finally, speak to an audience that's particularly trying to hear. Oh, I am so excited that Senator Harris is going to be there, Dr. Taylor, the people that have been on the ground and are moving forward. An opportunity to be able to present alongside of them and to support their work as well as, show and talk about my own work.
It is my great honor to welcome to the podium Senator Kamala Harris. Please give her a warm welcome.
This is one of those truths that must be spoken. This issue of maternal health care, and in particular, how it relates and affects Black women.
It is an acknowledgement of the fact that women and babies are dying every day in America, and that we could actually do something to stop it. And so the bill is an acknowledgement of the problem, and that is to acknowledge that within the problem, there is an issue of implicit bias. The other part of it is understanding that in order for this to actually work, there has to be a community approach. It's going to be about saying that let's go to the medical schools and encourage that there will be training there about these issues, which are real issues. These are uncomfortable truths we're speaking, right? Nobody wants to hear or even believe that this is happening, but it is. So let's deal with it. Let's take it on.
If you can't get into care, you can't be helped, you can't be triaged, you can't be supported. So we opened up first with the birthing center, but we've expanded that into clinics for women who don't necessarily want a natural birth or a midwife, who actually just want prenatal care, right? And we've offered that you can get seen regardless. of who you are, what you have, which card you're carrying, how much money. None of those things are of any interest to us at the beginning. We found that the easiest approach was to go ahead and say, just come on. You belong, you're pregnant, you're asking to be seen, let's go. From there, we can then help you get on Medicaid quicker because we know how to do it. We found that the women themselves relate better to our staff who are more in tune and more culturally congruent with them than the higher end, high credentialed, very expensive practitioners. So it's a midwifery model, which is a person-centered, family-centered, equity-based model. Our statistics literally eradicated prematurity, low birth weight, and morbidity for the women in our care. The same women that, again, are populating the statistics that we're talking about today. Saying, yes, please, come on in, sit down, wipe your tears, we're here. Which doesn't actually cost any money. We found that this works. We have been able to replicate our work. We have studies that have proven our outcomes. And I really encourage all of us to start thinking outside the box. This is a matter of life and death. I don't know what we've got to wait for. But I'm worried about the fact that as this is being presented now, much of it ends up still blaming the woman. Wow, now we've discovered she's just too fat. If she wasn't so fat, she wouldn't have died. Oh, her blood pressure's out of control. If she was getting medical care, she wouldn't have had high blood pressure in the first place. And so in the blaming the woman, we're pinpointing what's wrong, but we're not addressing how it got to be wrong. This isn't a matter of women being non-compliant and don't care about their baby. Many of the studies, research will come up with, oh, well, being black is a risk factor. No. Racism is a risk factor. The women that come to us come from all points. I've had one woman who came from Georgia every pregnancy. Just had a woman who came in from New York for a consultation. But what's always interesting to me is that postpartum visit, there are tears. There's, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm not coming anymore. Like, I'm going to miss you guys. I find it extremely worrisome that we have this little short window of time, the childbearing year, when we have some influence and connection with the women and their families, and that just as soon as they're finished and moved on, that they're out there in this void. We really haven't solved the problem. This is just the tip of the iceberg. It doesn't cost any money. It's really a shift of minds. It's an agreement that we are here only to center the mother. We're here only to get that full-term healthy baby that she's looking for, we're looking for, we're all on the same page. I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna give up. But I feel like I can do what I do, how I do it, in my little corner. But in the meantime, I still believe strongly that it's time to tell the truth. And so I am clear that no matter what, this work is making a difference, and I'm going to keep going.
It has been a long year. Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Are you ready?
We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news.
watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
East Douglas Street and Broadway in Wichita, Kansas. Busy today and 63 years ago when a bus stop set by Dockham Drugstore, a restaurant where riders could sit and have a cup of coffee, unless you were black.
They were on their way to clean white homes, prepare meals for white families, take care of white children. And they might have welcomed on cold mornings to have a hot cup of coffee and sit down inside while waiting for the bus. Well, that wasn't going to happen.
Dockham Drugstore probably isn't in your history books, but it would become the site of a civil rights breakthrough that's only beginning to get recognition.
If you wanted to get something to eat at the Dockham Drugstore, how did it happen then?
Well, they politely told us we could get food to carry out.
Segregation was not reserved for the South. In the 1950s, aspects of black and white communities in Wichita were very much separate and unequal.
Certainly, I can remember having to, if I went to a movie theater downtown, having to sit in the balcony. I couldn't sit on the main floor.
The young adult chapter of the NAACP decided to press for equality at Dockham, hoping change at one store would ripple through the franchise. They prepared for months, and in July of 1958, one of the leaders of the sit-in, Carol Parks Hahn, dressed in her Sunday best, sat at the counter and asked for a Coke. She was followed by one black student after another, each taking a seat at a stool. They simply wanted to sit and have a soda. They were denied the request. Peggy Wesley was just 15 at the time.
We just went in shifts and sat there, and we were very quiet. If somebody said anything to us, we were not to respond to any negativity, of course, and name calling and whatever, and there was a lot of that.
This is the only photo that exists of the sit-in, published in the local African American newspaper. The threat of violence, always a concern.
A young white male looked up and saw me, and he turned so he would bump me, and he didn't hurt me, but I knew why he did that.
The sit-in went on for 3 weeks until the owner of Dockham Drugstore walked in and told the store manager to serve them. He was losing too much business.
We were just elated when we finally could sit down and have a soda with our friends at the counter.
The Rexall drugstore chain joined its Dockham franchise in abolishing discriminatory practices at their stores nationwide, making the Dockham drugstore sit-in the first successful student-led sit-in of the civil rights era, according to the NAACP. The famous lunch counter sit-ins in Greensboro, North Carolina, began a year and a half later in 1960.
What did you think when the word started to reach you that this was starting to happen in other cities?
That there is such a thing as positive contagion. Growing up at that point in time, you better damn sure make sure that it's something positive that you can go home about and feel proud about.
Quiet pride, you might say. The story of their sit-in barely known within many in the black community in Wichita.
And I grew up with so many of you, and there were a lot of us who had no idea that the man who was sitting right next to me in church had gone through all of those things. Right. How is it that folks weren't talking about this? I didn't know this.
It was another event in our lives that was over, and it didn't appear to be a big thing then. Most of our parents who were not involved in the NAACP didn't know that we were doing that.
Did your father know what you were doing?
No, he didn't. I never did disclose to him.
We really didn't talk about it, and in fact, my daughters didn't even know I had not spoken about it to them.
A little-known sit-in, a peaceful act of courage for the right to be treated equally.
What would you say to teenagers now who have that itch to fight for civil rights? What advice would you give to a young person now, almost 60 years later?
The water's fine. It may be too cold sometime, or maybe too warm even sometime, but seriously, you'll feel better about yourself if you strive to make this a better world, a better community.
Man, wow.
I have so many takeaways. I could talk about this for the next hour, but I think if there is any takeaway, you know, when we talk about Black History Month, we often talk about Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, trailblazers for sure in their own right. But I guarantee you, if you're watching right now, there are trailblazers in your community, your neighbors, somebody who sits next to you at church, and sometimes they're just not sharing their stories. So I think it's so important to sit down and to talk to our relatives and to hear what they have to say. And really quickly, coming up in our third hour, we track down the granddaughter of the owner of the store at the time.
Oh, wow.
And she has something to say.
Oh, now I have chills. Oh. Gosh.
What did they do with that building there in Wichita? Is it still there?
Not there anymore. Yeah, I mean, you know, it was 60 years ago.
Sure. I like his last comment. The water's fine.
Water's just fine.
That was that was beautiful.
Maybe warm.
Yes, yes. And thank you guys for talking with me. They, you know, my grandmother had to call them and get them to talk.
Your grandma could be
right after it was over, Peggy said, "Okay, can you call your grandmother now and tell her that I talked to you?" So
I just love the synergy though, like the full circle, and now that you get to tell their story. What
such an honor.
Let's go. This is a critical choke point for this fire. And good evening from New Orleans. Nice to really spend some time with you. Appreciate
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Are you ready?
We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Let's go. And good evening from New Orleans. There is breaking news. There you go.
More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Poetry. What comes to mind?
Growing up in Kansas City, Missouri, Marjay Neal suffered a childhood of abuse and homelessness.
I had two sisters, and we were very poor. There were times where we did not have food for ourselves. The moment that we got evicted and we ultimately had to go to the homeless shelter was one of the darkest times. I knew that life wouldn't be the same after this.
While living in the shelter, Marjay's mother insisted she attend an art workshop put on by Halo, a nonprofit that provides housing and education to thousands of at-risk children around the world.
She came to Halo pretty quiet and reserved and very much on guard.
She was very angry. She didn't know how to express the things that she had been through.
I was a very defensive child because I had to be. I kept everybody at arm's length. I want that love, but I'm scared to receive it. I'm scared that you might leave after you love me.
But after more visits to Halo, Marjay started opening up.
As she grew, her story just started to change a little bit. She started having these little pivotal moments.
The room was just full of love. There's art supplies everywhere. And as an artsy creative child, I was in heaven.
I could tell that she was using words to process the things that she had been through and try to work through them on paper.
In high school, Marjay discovered her passion for poetry and started competing at the national level.
I wrote my first poem about a traumatic childhood experience. Poetry provides a lot of relief. Like the sky before much needed rain,
She's one of our best poets. Individuals in the audience who are complete strangers to are in tears. She's touched them in such a way.
When I write in pen because it's permanent. And although some feelings aren't permanent, you have to remember where you come from in order to grow and get to where you've been.
Now 20 years old, Margie is studying journalism on a full-ride scholarship to the University of Missouri and returns to Halo to lead writing workshops for teens.
Margie has such an incredible story of resilience to share. She's like a megaphone for these kids who are suffering through the same type of thing that she did. They can see themselves in her.
Poetry has saved my life in multiple different ways. If somebody gets something from my poem and my experiences, then my job is done.
In February, Margie shared her story in a documentary that debuted at Halo's annual auction. The event raised $650,000 for homeless youth. But it was Margie who received the biggest surprise of all.
So there's someone else who heard your story and wanted to interview you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Margie. Hi. I'm so glad to meet you.
It was surreal. I would never in a million years would have thought that you would be saying my name.
When you read your words, you know that that comes from such a deep, powerful, and soulful space. You're a shining example of what is possible for everybody.
What a journey for Margie. She is showing you that artistry can really create a path for success.
Where you come from doesn't define who you are, but it can influence where you go. Anything is possible if you put in the work, if you move with love, and you have passion and purpose.
Margie hopes to one day publish a book of her work, and we know she will. What a talent. To check out the full documentary featuring Margie's journey, head to hodaandjenna.com.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Are you ready?
We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I can track this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
It has been a long year. Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for? Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
So over the past year, I'd say a lot of people have picked up new hobbies to pass the time or to relieve stress, and knitting has become a popular one.
I recently got to catch up with two women who've been at it for years, knitting their way through tough times, happy times, and even weaving their way into history. They even gave me the chance to join their stitch circle for an afternoon. There's this community. You guys are known as knitfluencers?
I would probably say we're more fiber friends.
Meet Cecilia Nelson Hurt and Darcy Kern, stitching together a pastime with a purpose.
I learned to crochet when I was a kid from my grandmother, and my mother taught me to knit when I was in high school.
So what is crocheting versus what is knitting?
So crocheting is one needle with a hook. And so think granny squares, right, from the 70s. And knitting is what Darcy is doing, and it's two needles.
Cecilia and Darcy are part of a global community of knitters. Now, how did you two hook up? No pun intended.
I started following Cecilia she does posts visiting all these yarn shops all over the world. And I call them yarncations.
What I appreciate about the international aspect is picking up yarn that's not available here. And then that yarn holds a special memory. And then I'm going to make something really nice that, oh, this reminds me of when we were in Paris and we went to Amy's yarn shop and I got this beautiful yellow.
For them, knitting is so much more than a hobby.
As knitters of color, does your culture influence how you knit and what you knit?
Absolutely, 100%. I feel like when I'm in a stitch night, I feel that connection to other women. I do think it's important.
We've all been, stuck inside. It's a fact that COVID has disproportionately affected people of color.
Yeah.
Add to that, the death of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. Would you say that knitting is not just healing, but something that helps you cope?
I did hear from a lot of people in the community that they lost their knitting mojo, but when they regained it, they were able to knit through the grief. There are plenty of women who make prayer shawls where they pray as they're knitting and then they gift that item away.
Whenever something's like stressing me out, like I'll tell my husband, like I'm about to go knit about it. And that is how I just kind of process what's going on.
Inspired by a photo of abolitionist and woman suffrage activist Sojourner Truth, Darcy began a project called Knitting While Black.
I thought to myself, that is a really amazing photo. I bet there are more photos of Black people knitting. And I searched and I found I think 1,400 results with the keyword knitting or knit, and only 3 or 4 of them were Black people. And I know that back then, Black people were doing this, but no one turned it into art. So I decided that I was going to find photos or paintings and I was going to recreate them with myself as the subject and to share some kind of contemporary history about Black people during the same time that art was made.
Even though the world's been put on pause, knitters everywhere are finding common threads.
I'm Christian, but there's a group of Muslim dyers who have created a month-long wool club. Each one is inspired by a different Ramadan tradition. So I've been able to learn a lot about Ramadan through buying this yarn. So the fiber community is full of people who want to learn about others.
And we brought in someone very special who's the knitter in my family to join our stitch circle. Hey, sweetheart.
Hi.
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 My daughter, Leela. How do you find the ends?
There you go. You hold your yarn and then if you wrap it around your finger and then you do a twist.
Oh, I like that.
Is mom there to help you?
It's been an honor really meeting you ladies. I have, and just to get a chance to see my girl. So this has been great. Look at you go. Look at you.
She's a natural.
So it runs in the family, but didn't come from you.
No, nothing to do with it. Deborah used to knit, so they came by it really honestly.